and also
risk their lives every day. While you may never see who they are, as their work is done from high above, their achievements are monumentally obvious and best viewed from the ground.
In exactly 11 days, Indonesians will cast their votes in the ballots to vote for the new president and vice president of the country. And also tomorrow, we have the last debate before we got into the election. And in this episode also, we will bring you all the updates on the Indonesian votes 2024. Welcome to our viewers in Indonesia, also across the world. Thank you so much for joining us here on the 3-Hour News Show on C Today. Now, for the next 3 hours, we'll bring you the latest from Indonesia, our home country, Southeast Asia, and also around the world. I'm your host for today, Hans Lango. And also, aside from those I've mentioned, Indonesia Votes 2024, we'll also have some updates from sports and business. Hence, say hello to my colleagues, Rangga Estemat, and welcome back, Aubrey Bear.
Hi,
Welcome back, Aubrey.
guys.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. You look good. It's
Thank
been a very, very while, right?
I'm
Hans,
so
you
happy. It's
took off?
actually almost 2 months, right, guys?
Yeah.
Right. So how's the baby girl?
It's very great.
Good.
And then, I mean, like, you know, adjusting with like, I need like breastfeeding,
Yes,
lack of sleep, you know?
Lack of sleep. I want to highlight that, guys. Lack of sleep. Aubrey's not sleeping at the moment. But welcome back, Aubrey. Hans, thank you
Thank
for
you,
the
guys.
very nice introduction. Guys, good afternoon. My name is Rangga Estemat. Welcome to our 3-hour news show. And make sure you follow us before we start on our socials. We are on X, Instagram, and YouTube at C Today News. Now, for the latest updates from the business world is Aubrey.
Yes, thank you, Rangga. I'm so happy to be here after my maternity leave. Okay, we'll take a look at market and business update from the country, the region, and elsewhere around the world. But first, let's take a look at what made the top stories for today.
Indonesian Foreign Affairs Minister Retno Marsudi delivered her remarks at the opening plenary session of the Third European Union and Indo-Pacific Ministerial Forum in Brussels, Belgium, and reaffirmed Indonesia's unwavering support for Palestine.
Gojek Tokopedia, or Goto, announced that the company achieved positive EBITDA in the fourth quarter of 2023, marking the first ever profit on an adjusted basis.
In sports, Russell Westbrook of Los Angeles Clippers has become the 25th player in NBA history to earn 25,000 points.
And later in our See the Story segment in the last hour of the show, please do join us as we will meet with Bass Boy, the talk about his brand new single, Banyak Yang Bilang, and also a lot more, so stay tuned. So guys, less than 2 weeks before we got into our elections.
Yes.
So have you checked if you are actually registered in your
Right,
own-
I have, and I
Yes.
am registered.
Yes.
Already.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
So make sure that you have been registered in your area to cast your vote, because this will determine Indonesia's future for the next 5 years. But now let's start with our first segment. This is from Gaza. Palestinian resistance movement Hamas is demanding Israel release Marwan Barghouti, a man some Palestinians see as their Nelson Mandela, who's also a prime candidate to become the president in the future, as well as the highest profile prisoner held by Israel. Hamas leaders demanded on Friday that Israel release Barghouti, a leader of the group's main political rival, Fatah, as part of any deal to end the fighting in Gaza.
Israel is seeking the release of more than 100 hostages who are still being held by Hamas in Gaza, whereas Hamas is demanding an end to Israel's devastating military offensive and the release of thousands of Palestinian prisoners.
Senior Hamas official Osama Hamdan has called for Barghouti's release as international mediators try to push Israel and Hamas toward an agreement after nearly 4 months of genocide. The demand brings new attention to Barghouti, who plays a central role in Palestinian politics even after spending more than 2 decades behind bars. His release could lay the groundwork for his eventual election to the national office.
أنا أدعو الشعب الفلسطيني العظيم إلى الوحدة وإلى التلاحم وإلى إقامة حكومة وحدة وطنية وإلى الاستمرار في المقاومة الشعبية السلمية من أجل إنهاء الاحتلال، وأقول أنه لا يمكن أن يصنع السلام إلا بإنهاء الاحتلال. وبهذه المناسبة أوجه تحية للثورات العربية الشعبية الديمقراطية التي انتصرت في تونس وفي ليبيا وفي مصر.
An update from Indonesian Foreign Affairs Minister Retno Marsudi was one of several foreign ministers who had the opportunity to speak at the opening plenary session of the 3rd EU Indo-Pacific Ministerial Forum in Brussels, Belgium on Thursday and Friday.
Marsudi stressed the importance of strengthening cooperation for Indo-Pacific stability and ASEAN-EU partnership for upholding the international law.
The minister also made a statement on the situation in Palestine, showing Indonesia's continued commitment to support the region.
Bahwa ASEAN dan UE harus berada di garda depan dalam menjaga konsistensi, menghormati hukum internasional, guna mencegah the mighty takes all. Hal ini termasuk di dalam isu Palestina, di mana lebih dari 7 dekade bangsa Palestina terus menghadapi ketidakadilan. Saya menegaskan di dalam pernyataan bahwa Indonesia tidak akan diam dan akan terus membantu perjuangan bangsa Palestina mendapatkan haknya, apapun tantangan yang harus dihadapi. Dan saya menyerukan kepada UE untuk menggunakan nurani, menghentikan kekejaman di Palestina. Sebagai pendukung hukum internasional, Uni Eropa harus konsisten dalam isu Palestina, karena konsistensi antara nilai dan perbuatan menunjukkan moralitas kita yang sesungguhnya.
And moving on to Yemen now, thousands of Yemenis joined a mass rally in the capital Sana'a on Friday to show solidarity with Palestinians in Gaza and anger at Israel and the US.
The crowd chanted for death to Israel and death to America as Israel's unprecedented genocide goes on. The Houthis have organized protests nearly every day since early October.
Friday's demonstrations came as the Shiite group continued their attacks on commercial shipping in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden, with the aim of backing Hamas and Palestinians trapped in the Gaza Strip amid Israel's war on Hamas. The US and the United Kingdom has responded with multiple rounds of strikes on Houthi targets in Yemen.
Meanwhile, the Israeli military said that late Friday, a missile was intercepted that approached the country from the Red Sea, raising suspicion it was launched by Houthi. The Houthi did not immediately claim responsibility for the attack, but have launched barrage of missiles toward southern Israel since October.
أمريكا هي صانعة الإرهاب، أمريكا هي أم الإرهاب، أمريكا هي مدبرة الإرهاب، أمريكا هي كل شيء للإرهاب،
لولا أمريكا ما كان هناك موطئ قدم للصهاينة في بلاد فلسطين.
The decision by several donors to suspend funding of the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine refugees in the Near East, or UNRWA, could force the agency to shut down operations by the end of February and exacerbate a humanitarian catastrophe in the Gaza Strip.
Donors, including the United States, Canada, and Britain, have suspended funding to UNRWA after Israel accused several UNRWA employees of their involvement in the October 7 attack on Israel. UNRWA said it has also initiated an investigation into the allegations.
UNRWA is the primary humanitarian agency in Gaza with over 2 million people depending on it for their sheer survival. The agency's primary donor countries have switched off funding at a time when Gaza is undergoing a grave humanitarian crisis.
Now, on Thursday, Gaza's health ministry said the death toll from the Israeli repeated attacks on the enclave had exceeded 27,000 souls. There are also hundreds of thousands more who have been made homeless by Israeli bombs, with the whole enclave facing a humanitarian catastrophe due to Israeli siege.
As well as its work with Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, UNRWA provides assistance to people in the West Bank, Jordan, Lebanon, and Syria. Officials stress that without urgent funding, those areas will also be at risk. UNRWA's Commissioner General Filipe Lazzarini said on Thursday that now is the time to reinforce and now to weaken UNRWA.
It is a very serious and dramatic development, actually, to suspend the financial resources of the agency. We are talking now about 15 countries that decided to suspend financial support to the agency. What UNRWA has, maybe financially, it will be enough till the end of this month, and after that, this decision have a very destructive impact on our operation, on millions of Palestinian refugees in the 5 fields of operation, not only in Gaza. We're providing also fuel to desalination centers, desalination plants, to sewage system, hospitals, clinics. We are the lifeline of Palestinians here. So stopping the fund or suspending the fund will have a very destructive impact on everything.
And now let's shift our attention to former protests in France. Farmers have lifted the last remaining roadblocks on main access routes to Paris on Friday. This took place a day after the Prime Minister introduced new measures to protect their livelihoods.
On Thursday, following the government's announcement, the country's 2 major farmers' unions said they'd lift country-wide blockades.
Prime Minister Gabriel Attal announced tens of millions of euros in aid, tax breaks, and a promise not to ban pesticides in France that are allowed elsewhere in Europe. Thousands of French farmers have been demonstrating for a couple of weeks across the country in protests over low earnings, heavy regulations, and what they call unfair competition from abroad.
Since Monday, protesters have resorted to use hundreds of tractors, trailers, and even rumbling harvesters to block and slow traffic on major highways which connect to Paris. The sight of tractor barricades created congestion, which forced authorities to divert some traffic to smaller roads.
The movement in France stems from a global food crisis, which has been aggravated by Russia's war in the Ukraine. French farmers said that the war has driven up costs for fertilizer, energy, and other necessities needed to grow crops and feed livestock. This has made farming unattainable for some.
Indonesian Foreign Affairs Minister Retno Marsudi highlighted 2 key points during the 24th ASEAN-EU ministerial meeting in Brussels, Belgium.
The first point is related to the EU policy on the environment sector that she believes may block its partnership with ASEAN. Minister Marsudi said in a statement that ASEAN is also concerned about the same issue and suggested a more supportive approach to handle this matter.
The second point is about peace and stability, where Marsudi issued an appeal to countries that have suspended their financial support to UNRWA to prevent it from becoming a collective punishment against Palestine. The suspension came after Israel accused some of the UNRWA staffs of their involvement in the wake of October 7. Now let's have a look at what Minister Marsudi had to say about this matter.
Dalam pertemuan saya juga menyampaikan concern terhadap kebijakan Uni Eropa yang dapat menghalangi kemitraan dengan ASEAN, misalnya terkait kelapa sawit dan EUDR. Saya tekankan bahwa ASEAN juga peduli dengan kelestarian lingkungan dan pendekatan yang diambil haruslah saling membantu, bukan menghukum. Saya menekankan bahwa standar one size fits all tidak dapat diberlakukan. Jika tujuannya untuk memperkuat kerjasama, maka pilihannya hanya satu, yaitu saling bekerja sama, saling membantu, dan menghindari isu sustainability digunakan untuk alat proteksi di dalam perdagangan. Itu Indonesia juga menyampaikan appeal agar negara-negara yang menunda atau pause dukungan keuangan ke UNRWA untuk dapat mempertimbangkan kembali posisinya dan jangan sampai keputusan tersebut menjadi collective punishment kepada rakyat Palestina. Indonesia mendukung dibentuknya investigasi yang independen, kredibel, dan transparan untuk membuktikan tuduhan yang disampaikan kepada sejumlah pekerja UNRWA secara appropriate.
And now let's fly back to our home country, Indonesia. Academic communities from various universities in Indonesia made public statements in their respective locations on Friday.
Meanwhile, the academic community in Universitas Indonesia urged for an honest and fair general elections this year, which are free of any intimidation and fear.
They also demanded President Joko Widodo to not abuse his power, which may potentially lead to election fraud.
The Academic Community Alliance of Andalas University in Padang, West Sumatra, issued a public statement demanding Indonesian President Joko Widodo to not abuse his power, which may potentially lead to an election fraud in this year's general elections.
Perilaku penguasa pemerintah itu kan semakin hari tidak lagi malu-malu menyatakan keberpihakan, menyatakan dukungan ya yang sudah terang-terangan, sehingga kemudian ini yang menyebabkan momentum menjelang 2 minggu kepemilihan itu kan semakin kasat mata. Kita lihat berbagai praktek-praktek ketidaknetralan pemerintah.
Selamat siang, salam sehat.
Meanwhile, dozens of professors, university rector, and the academic community of Indonesia Islamic University gathered at the campus in Yogyakarta on Thursday. They expressed their concerns about the country's conditions through a petition. The petition, which was directly read by the university's rector, urged the government to not take advantage of the country's assets for political interests.
Gejala ini kian jelas ke permukaan saat Presiden Joko Widodo menyatakan ketidaknetralan institusi kepresidenan dengan membolehkan Presiden berkampanye dan berpihak.
Sungguh menampak diam, seakan kami tenggelam dalam.
Furthermore, a public statement was held by professors and academic community of Indonesian University in Depok, West Java. They conveyed their concerns toward officials and political elites who they deemed have lost their ethics in office. The academic community demanded a fair and honest general elections this year without any intimidation and fear. They also condemned any form of suppression in freedom of expression.
Kewajiban kita semua adalah untuk menjaga pemilu agar jujur dan adil. Dan kami juga sepakat bahwa setiap universitas harus melakukan langkah-langkah, baik secara individual maupun secara kelompok, untuk bisa menjalankan dan menjamin agar ke depan ini kita memiliki pemilu yang benar-benar diinginkan oleh rakyat Indonesia.
Meanwhile, the university's professors and academic community urged the public, especially higher education institutions, to monitor this year's general elections for the results that the Indonesian people seek for.
And on the other side, Universitas Hasanuddin in South Sulawesi and Universitas Padjadjaran in West Java have also expressed their concerns to the president regarding the state of Indonesian democracy.
The forum, attended by professors and lecturers from Universitas Hasanuddin in Makassar, urged the public to actively participate in preserving democracy while also reminding the Indonesian president of the upcoming presidential election this year.
The academics and scholars emphasize the importance of state officials in upholding Pancasila and the 1945 Constitutional as fundamental to the democratic process.
Furthermore, they also called upon President Joko Widodo, state officials, legal entities and political figures to stay committed to democratic principles and social justice and foster a sense of comfort in democracy.
Additionally, these academics asked authorities from the General Elections Commission, Election Supervisory Board, and Election Organization Ethics Council, or DKPP, to uphold their professionalism according to laws and regulations.
In Bandung, West Java, tens of professors along with thousands of students and alumni from Universitas Padjadjaran gathered to sign a petition that called for Indonesia to be saved.
Academic Senate Chairman of Universitas Padjadjaran, Ganjar Kurnia, underscored 7 key points to boost Indonesia's morals and democracy.
Members of the Senate have also called the public to vote wisely and steer clear of money politics. In addition, the Senate also stressed the importance of fair elections, law-abiding authorities, and leaders who adhere to both the law and ethical standards.
And meanwhile, President Joko Widodo made a response after the academic community criticized his actions prior to this year's general elections scheduled for mid-February.
Communities from different universities expressed their dissatisfaction of Widodo's statement regarding the head of state's ability to campaign and pick sides during elections.
And the president respected their opinions at the press conference in North Jakarta on Friday morning.
Ya, itu hak demokrasi. Setiap orang boleh berbicara, berpendapat, silahkan.
Hans.
And let's have a quick look now at the updates regarding the upcoming Indonesian general elections on Indonesia Votes 2024.
Prisoners in the regions of Ambon and Karawang have been granted voting rights for the upcoming elections. They were also given an electronic identification card or eKTP during the election socialization event.
Officials from the Population and Civil Registration Agency in Ambon City assisted some 20 inmates of Class 2 penitentiary to record their electronic ID cards.
The agency also helped some of them to reprint their lost or undetectable cards.
In addition to that, authorities have also set up polling station for 383 inmates who were eligible to vote.
Authorities will also register the remaining inmates on the electoral roll at Maluku Electoral Commission.
Meanwhile, in West Java, Karawang Electoral Commissions held an election socialization event for inmates of the Class 2A penitentiary.
During the event, prisoners were given information about electoral tools and regulations, including ballots, electoral districts, and the do's and don'ts during the voting process.
This socialization also called the inmates to wisely use their rights to vote on February the 14th, and was met with positive feedback from the participants.
The Electoral Commission, or KPU, held a press conference on Friday regarding rule changes for the last presidential debate.
One of the changes is the extension for the closing statement from 2 to 4 minutes.
The Electoral Commission, or KPU, have finalized their policy regarding the last presidential debate that will be held at the Jakarta Convention Center in central Jakarta this Sunday.
According to KPU, the last debate focuses on education, health, labor, culture, information technology, and welfare inclusion. There will be no principal changes to previous debates.
However, the duration of the closing statement have been extended to 4 minutes, following requests from presidential candidates. The commission added that this will not alter the total duration of the debate.
Mengapa kemudian di debat kelima dan kemudian ya semacam sesuatu yang sangat spesial gitu. Nah, ini sebenarnya kan karena kebutuhan dari masing-masing tim paslon, bagaimanapun juga debat itu kan salah satu metode. Nah, pada akhirnya closing statement nanti terkait dengan visi misi dan kemudian kelihatannya memang kalau dalam suasana rapat-rapat debat, pada akhirnya ada semacam kesadaran di antara tim paslon untuk nanti ada momen tertentu di bagian-bagian akhir.
All right, let's move away from the election news and focus on something a little bit lighter. Now, beef rendang and sambal ulek, or Indonesian chili sauce that is crushed in the mortar, are among Indonesian dishes that are gaining popularity in Sweden, as local residents have been known to love spicy foods.
And recently, the Swedish Chili Pepper Association organized a workshop about beef rendang and sambal ulek with Indonesian professional chef Prasto Suminar. Let's have a look.
The cold weather of Stockholm, Sweden may stir quite an appetite for spicy food. This time, residents of Northern Europe, especially Stockholm, are invited to enjoy and understand world-famous Indonesian dishes, beef rendang and sambal ulek. Of course, the Swedes are quite familiar with the dishes. Their tastes and tales were introduced when they've traveled. Rendang and sambal ulek dishes are appreciated by this association. The association thinks that Northern Europe residents enjoy sharp-tasting dishes.
But of course, in Sweden, we like to travel very much. We bring back cultures from very distant areas, and we like to reproduce them in our daily life again. For the Swedes, it would be a dish that you cook, put together in the weekends. Promote the beef rendang recipes, and also pass on the short steps that you can make.
Professional chef Prasto Suminar explains that many European, especially Swedes, enjoy rendang and sambal.
Saya kira karena mereka banyak traveling dan mereka menerima hal-hal yang baru. Mereka mau mencoba.
Many audience did not expect that this dish must take hours to make.
Do you think it's difficult to cook rendang?
No.
No.
No. It takes time, but it's not difficult. And I've done it for many years, a couple of times.
It was good. We haven't done it before. It's my first time I'm tasting it. So I'm quite excited, really. But it takes a long time to do.
Swedish has been known to have a preference for sharp-tasting cuisine involving many spices. Sambal ulek from Indonesia, for example, many are available in local supermarkets, even produced in Sweden. Although the taste is not as sharp as typical Indonesian chili sauce, for Indonesian expatriate in Sweden like me, this will do just fine. Who would have thought that rendang and sambal ulek have a place in this country? Now, although the taste is customized to local taste in many restaurants, it is proud to say that the Indonesian cuisine has attracted the foreigners. Noni Wibisono reporting from Stockholm, Sweden for See Today.
Thank you so much, Noni Wibisono from Sweden. Now, we're going for our first quick break, but when we come back, we'll have the latest from Southeast Asia and also around the world.
And later during the hour, I'll bring you the latest from the world of business.
And of course, also from the world of sports. So stay here on the 3-Hour News Show on See Today.
So spicy.
Absolutely delicious.
You know, it's actually pretty good.
Satu, dua, tiga. Come see the nature, only on See Indonesia.
Come see the beauty, only on See Indonesia.
Only on See Indonesia.
Berangkat aja dulu, kerjakan apa yang ada di depan kalian. Setidaknya kalian hari ini walaupun tidak mendapatkan uang, tapi kalian mendapatkan kesempatan.
Walaupun di awal-awal itu banyak sekali rintangan dan tantangan.
Kalian berproses aja dulu, jalan aja dulu. Kalau udah waktunya kalian untuk dapetin uang akan datang nyamperin kalian. Hal yang paling sangat utama untuk mengawali bisnis, ridho dan restu orang tua. Itu hal dan modal paling besar dalam mengawali usaha.
Ke Binjai mau migrasi.
Cakep.
Anjay, aku depotsi.
Ya, aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik loh. Aduh ya Allah.
Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi itu hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mars.
Pemain.
Ijo sama yang merah ini tuh rumah pribumi, jadi aku taruh di dalam, makanya rasanya lebih welcome gitu. Modern banget. Menurut aku ya, kita belum ngerasa memiliki kalau belum ada sejarahnya.
Welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk.
Enggak, dia hostnya, kita co-host.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. That's actually a good hack, because I used to live in Canada. That was our trick.
Point to Manado on the map. I'm horrible. I told you I'm bad.
Dikira dengan banyaknya informasi itu kan jadi makin gampang gitu nulis.
Iya.
Tapi ternyata susah banget.
China Earthquake Network Center reported that the quake rocked the Ertupan County in Aksu Prefecture shortly after 2 a.m. local time.
Minister January Makamba was a guest in one of our news programs, a 3-hour news show yesterday. While he was in the studio, he used the opportunity to explain the current state of diplomatic ties between Tanzania and Indonesia.
Indonesian Foreign Affairs Minister Retno Marsudi addressed the UN Security Council during an open debate in New York.
Ini adalah open debate Dewan Keamanan PBB ketiga mengenai Gaza dalam 3 bulan terakhir dan Indonesia hadir di ketiganya.
Indonesian Foreign Affairs Minister Retno Marsudi addressed the UN Security Council during an open debate in New York.
Ini adalah open debate Dewan Keamanan PBB ketiga mengenai Gaza dalam 3 bulan terakhir dan Indonesia hadir di ketiganya.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia keluar dia itu bergelombol, menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
Asian flavors is gaining more popularity around the world in the last decade. Personally love this, not just because it is familiar for our palate, but because the airiness, the textures of the youtiao, it's completely different than baguette. So with those appetites and with those pleasure-driven people, Menteng is a very special place for restaurant.
Hello, welcome back to the show. Now we have some more updates because this is weekend. Why don't we just lose them a bit?
We have to.
Now let's start with Medan, North Sumatra, where the city has a newly introduced spot for religious tourism called Jina Damo Temple.
Now, the destination is designed to pay tribute to a bhikkhu renowned for spreading the teachings of the Buddha in the northern region of the island.
In Medan, North Sumatra, a new religious tourism site was officially inaugurated on Wednesday, January 31. It goes by the name Jina Damo Temple, constructed in memory of Bhikkhu Jina Damo Mahathera. This venerable monk played a significant role in spreading the Buddhist faith in North Sumatra and passed away in Medan on January 26 last year. In honor of his contributions, some of his relics now find a home within the temple.
Yang pada saat ini yang kami lakukan adalah penempatan di mana yang awalnya relik beliau berada di Candi ITBC Sakyamuni Buddha ini menuju tempat peristirahatan terakhir beliau dibangun sebagai tempat penghormatan beliau yang sangat tinggi oleh umat Buddha dan para bhikkhu sangha.
Aside from putting the relics, the event was marked by a procession joined by 88 bhikkhus from various countries.
Perjalanan ini mempunyai makna adalah di mana seperti perjalanan Buddha pada masanya menyebarkan ajaran dari satu tempat ke tempat yang lain.
Jinadamo Temple is not exclusively intended for Buddhists, as emphasized by a representative from Indonesia's Ministry of Religious Affairs who attended the ceremony.
Di tempat tidak hanya untuk religi semata, tapi juga bisa menjadi penghormatan atau wisata bagi umum karena nama baik itu adalah tidak melihat agamanya, tapi apa yang beliau lakukan torehkan semua untuk kemajuan dan peningkatan batin atau spiritualitas dari setiap orang.
Situated at Jalan Pancing MMDC Complex, Jinadamo Temple stands as a testament to the monk's legacy and welcomes visitors from walks of life. Citoday News contributor reporting from Medan, North Sumatra.
Still in Medan, North Sumatra, a 10-meter giant Buddha statue at Satya Buddha Visudi Marga Buddhist Temple was cleansed earlier today ahead of Chinese New Year.
And in Surabaya, East Java, many also took part to watch statues of gods and goddesses at Hong San Kuti Temple.
Cleaning out the temple, including its Buddha statue, has become a tradition for workers at the house of worship before the festival. According to Chinese belief, cleaning and decluttering places, including houses of worship, may remove bad luck and bring good fortunes.
In addition to the giant Buddha statue, they also clean hundreds of big and small size statues. 2024 is the year of wood dragon, which symbolizes strength, glory, honor, luck, and success.
In Surabaya, East Java, workers at Hong San Kuti Temple also cleaned altar and statues of gods and goddesses. These included statues of goddess Kuan Yin, god Kuang Tzu Chun Wang, and the three goddesses of Tridevi.
Workers use soap and floral water to clean each statue, as well as tea for wooden statues. This also considered an annual tradition that symbolizes purifying oneself and the house of worship ahead of the Chinese New Year.
According to the temple workers, they are not allowed to eat meat before cleaning the temple. The Tridharma Hyang Tien Xiang Ti Temple, which is one of the oldest temples in West Kalimantan, is gearing up to celebrate the upcoming Chinese New Year, or Imlek, as we call it here in Indonesia, with 2 record-breaking lanterns.
Yes, and aside from that, the Chinese New Year atmosphere can also be felt in Bekasi, West Java, where bakers of year cakes or kue keranjang are struggling to fulfill orders from customers.
The Chinese New Year also brings many blessings for fruit vendors at Pasar Gede in Solo, since demand for Imlek-related fruits is soaring.
Thousands of red-colored round lanterns adorn the courtyard of the Tridharma Hyang Tien Xiang Tie Temple. The temple has stood for 126 years and is currently preparing to celebrate the Chinese New Year and conduct religious services on February 10. Temple officials said that they are now focusing on preparations to set up lanterns and cleanse the complex ahead of the big day. They are also preparing to arrange jumbo-sized candles weighing 300 kilograms to a ton. The temple's courtyard is full of colorful lanterns with pictures and ornaments of wooden dragons adorning every inch of the walls. They were put up by hand by locals.
Seperti tahun-tahun sebelumnya, cuman tahun ini lebih meriah kayaknya.
Lampionnya kurang lebih ada sekitar 2.300 lebih. Ya, dari kita pasangnya dari arah masuk kelenteng sampai ke jembatan, seterusnya menuju ke kelenteng. Lampion yang besar sih, kayaknya maknanya sih seperti tahun-tahun yang lalu lah, cuman tahun ini lebih besar dibanding tahun-tahun kemarin. Diameter tahun ini kurang lebih 6 meter lingkarannya, totalnya semua, dan ketinggiannya mencapai 4 meter. Ya, untuk tahun-tahun ini kita maknanya kebersamaan di kampung kita, terutama di daerah Kakap ini, ya kita wujudkanlah supaya antar etnis kita selalu kompak dan menjaga perdamaian. Walaupun di tahun politik, kita di Pekong ini tidak terlibat dalam politik.
Meanwhile, bakers of year cakes or kue keranjang in Bekasi, West Java are struggling to meet orders from customers due to higher demand ahead of the Chinese New Year. An army of workers can be seen moving like clockwork to make year cakes, which consist of glutinous rice and sugar, which are then processed to a dough. Vendors said orders for year cakes started soaring ahead of the Chinese New Year, with a 30% increase this year. They have also had to hire 31 additional employees to help them meet the high demand.
Saat ini ada sedikit, walaupun terganggu waktu itu ya ada COVID atau apa. Sekarang lumayan kami masih bisa bertahan dan ada sedikit peningkatan pesanan. Mungkin sekitar 30% ada.
Kalau karyawan yang di pekerjaan ada berapa, Pak?
Saat ini sebelumnya ada 5, sekarang sekitar 31 orang. Ya karena ini musiman, jadi biasanya kami untuk menjaga kualitas itu paling sekitar 2 minggu produksinya, masa memproduksi itu. Biasanya sudah mendekati hari H itu yang mungkin kami harus antisipasi bagaimana caranya untuk ready stock dan ada estimasi untuk stok kami di sini supaya bisa mencukupi kebutuhan yang mendadak itu biasanya.
The Chinese New Year also brings many blessings to food vendors at the Gede Market in Solo, Central Java. They have been overwhelmed with orders from customers 2 weeks ahead of the big day. They also said that sweet-tasting foods have soared in popularity among customers. They are flooded by orders from customers, although they have increased prices to around 10 and 15,000 rupees per kilogram. Some of the more highly demanded fruits are oranges, pears, and apples. Demand is estimated to keep rising until the turn of the Chinese New Year on February 10.
Rangga, a week ahead of the Lunar New Year, have you, what colors mostly that you have in your closet?
Well, I don't know if it's true, but red is supposed to be
Of
there.
course.
Of course.
That's
But in my closet, lately I've been, fixing my head towards just very, very dull colors, like
Dark colors.
dark gray.
Okay.
You know, like black.
Black.
Dark blue.
Dark blue.
Very dull.
Well, actually, you might want to rethink again and rearrange your closet because there are actually 3 colors considered to be the lucky color of the year of the wood dragon.
Okay.
Or they call it Long Nian.
Okay.
So one, of course, red, because red is the color of luck
that one
in Chinese belief. But also, this one has been gone for like almost a couple of years now. The emerald green.
So emerald green, is this something that I wear right now? Close,
yes,
close to this.
in that tone, in that
Right,
tone.
right,
But also
emerald
in a more, dark, but
Yes.
in a royal
We
regal.
normally see it in the, in movies.
In movies, exactly.
Right.
And
okay.
one other color is, this might not suit everyone, but they call it 金黄色, or the yellow gold.
The
or
yellow
gold
gold.
yellow, something
Right,
like that.
okay.
So that would be 3 lucky colors. So you might want to rearrange your closet.
Let me have just one more because I already have red.
True.
I think I'm gonna go for the green.
Yep.
I think I look good.
Oh, well, yellow socks would actually do.
All right.
All right, we're going for another break.
Yes, guys. And after the break, we're going to have Aubrey, and she's going to deliver more economics and, of course, the business updates.
All right, Aubrey.
So for the last business segment, I'm going to talk about the last quarter 2023 performance of GoTo, Gojek Tokopedia, and also the positive performance of Bank Syariah Indonesia. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
China Earthquake Network Center reported that the quake rocked the Ertupan County in Aksu Prefecture shortly after 2 a.m. local time.
Minister January Makamba was a guest in one of our news programs, the 3-Hour News Show, yesterday. While he was in the studio, he used the opportunity to explain the current state of diplomatic ties between Tanzania and Indonesia.
Indonesian Foreign Affairs Minister Retno Marsudi addressed the UN Security Council during an open debate in New York.
Ini adalah open debate Dewan Keamanan PBB ketiga mengenai Gaza dalam 3 bulan terakhir dan Indonesia hadir di ketiganya.
Indonesian Foreign Affairs Minister Retno Marsudi addressed the UN Security Council during an open debate in New York.
Ini adalah open debate Dewan Keamanan PBB ketiga mengenai Gaza dalam 3 bulan terakhir dan Indonesia hadir di ketiganya.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia bergelombol menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
Asian flavors is gaining more popularity around the world in the last decade. Personally love this, not just because it is familiar for our palate, but because the airiness, the textures of the youtiao, it's completely different than baguette. So with those appetites and with those pleasure-driven people, Menteng is a very special place for restaurant.
Satu bukit sampai elevasi gua hari itu nyentuh 4.000-an lah.
I kind of want to die.
Good morning, Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and the world. Rise and shine, everyone. A brand new start to a brand new month and a brand new week.
Good morning. Good morning. It's a deja vu. Good.
It's like deja vu. It's like with sports, entertainment as well.
It is time for a Seat Today with Business with me, Caroline. All right, guys. See Indonesia, see the world, see today.
Yes, welcome back to the 3-Hour News Show, and now you're watching See Today Business with me, Aubrey Bear. And Gojek Tokopedia or GoTo announced that they have achieved positive EBITDA in the 4th quarter of 2023, which marks the company's first ever profit on an adjusted basis. The statement was announced on TikTok Newsroom website following the finalization of TikTok and GoTo partnership. Positive EBITDA or earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization indicates profitability on an adjusted basis or at the operating level. GoTo also stated that their full-year losses was lower than 3.8 trillion rupiahs, which is lower than their previous forecast. According to GoTo Group CEO Patrick Waluyo, as the company's profitability and cash flow continues to improve, they will optimize their use of capital, which can include a share buyback initiative. The full details of their 2023 4th quarter and full-year performance will be released later in March. On a weekly basis or from Monday to Friday, Gotoh shares rose by over 15.90 rupiah per share on Friday. And from the Sharia sector, Bank Syariah Indonesia or BSI announced on Thursday that they recorded a positive performance in 2023 with growing net profit, consumer base, and other parameters. Following this achievement, the bank was listed in the top 10 national and global Islamic banks and is expected to grow bigger in the future.
Bank Syariah Indonesia or BSI announced that the company closed the year 2023 with 5.7 trillion rupiah of net profit, or up 33.8% compared to the previous year. All of BSI parameters were showing positive performance and grew 10 to 16%, including asset, financing, third parties financing, CASA, fee-based income, margin income, and profit sharing. BSI customers have soared 10.5% and reached 19.65 million since January to December 2023, making it the Syariah bank with customer base ranked 5 nationally and ranked 1 globally. BSI share was also up around 32% since 2024 and jumped above 70% than a year before and reached the level 2,310, the highest level in the last 2 years. Furthermore, BSI market cap surpassed 107.48 trillion rupiah on January 31st, making it ranked 11th globally for the market cap. This achievement showed that Syariah Bank has a chance to grow bigger in the future.
Ini menunjukkan bahwa white space ataupun upside dari pertumbuhan perbankan syariah di Indonesia ini sangat lebar ya. Jadi artinya strategi kita adalah strategi Blue Ocean. Dan di space syariah ini kompetitor terbesar kita belum ada gitu. Jadi sebenarnya BSI punya kesempatan ya menggunakan kelebihannya, ototnya dan juga infrastruktur yang ada untuk cepat lari lebih cepat. Jadi terkait dengan misalnya ada peluang ya nanti kita bisa lihat dan itu biasanya peluang itu tidak datang mendadak ya. Jadi artinya kita ada perlu waktu untuk mengkaji dan melihat lebih dalam seperti apa peluang tadi.
To maintain these records, BSI will optimize the services to customers by opening the branches all over Indonesia and expanding business overseas, which is currently in Dubai, UAE, and Saudi Arabia in the future. BSI will also increase the accessibility through digital channel, including QRIS, ATM, EDC, Smart Agent, and BSI Mobile.
Moving on to the U.S., in its latest policy meeting on Wednesday, the Federal Reserve opted to maintain its key interest rate unchanged. There is, however, a hint that if the economy improves, rate cuts may be considered later this year. The Fed's chairman clarified that the rate cuts will not happen until inflation approaches their 2% target, making a rate reduction in March seem unlikely. The key rate remains at about 5.4%, the highest in 22 years. The Fed also signaled a policy shift by dropping previous wording that suggested the consideration of further rate hikes. Chairman Jerome Powell mentioned that if the U.S. economy develops positively, rate cuts may be on the horizon later in the year. The central bank, however, cautioned that it will not be appropriate to rate cuts until there is greater confidence in the sustainable inflation moving toward its 2% target. They suggested that the rate reduction is unlikely at its next meeting in March. And those were the economic and business updates for this hour. When we return, Rangga will bring you the latest from the world of sports.
Ijo sama yang merah ini tuh rumah pribumi. Jadi aku taruh di dalam, makanya rasanya lebih welcome gitu. Modern banget. Menurut aku ya, kita belum ngerasa memiliki kalau belum ada sejarahnya.
Berangkat aja dulu, kerjakan apa yang ada di depan kalian. Setidaknya kalian hari ini walaupun tidak mendapatkan uang, tapi kalian mendapatkan kesempatan.
Walaupun di awal-awal itu banyak sekali rintangan dan tantangan.
Kalian berproses aja dulu, jalan aja dulu. Kalau udah waktunya kalian untuk dapetin uang akan datang nyamperin kalian. Hal yang paling sangat utama untuk mengawali bisnis, ridho dan restu orang tua. Itu hal dan modal paling besar dalam mengawali usaha.
Ke Binjai mau migrasi.
Cakep.
Anjay, aku depotsi.
Ya, aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik loh. Aduh ya Allah.
Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi itu hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mars.
Pemain.
Hey there, buddies! Welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk.
Enggak, dia hostnya, kita co-hostnya.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. That's actually a good hack, because I used to live in Canada. That was our trick. Point to Manado on the smash. I'm horrible. I told you I'm bad.
Dikira dengan banyaknya informasi itu kan jadi makin gampang gitu nulisnya.
Iya.
Tapi ternyata susah banget.
So spicy.
Absolutely delicious. You know, it's actually pretty good.
Satu, dua, tiga.
Come see the nature, only on See Indonesia.
Come see the beauty. Only on See Indonesia.
Only on See Indonesia.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the 3-hour news show on See Today. And this is your See Today Sports with me, Ranga Estemat. We're going to start with this one with a very good, very highlighted career highlights from the world of NBA, where Russell Westbrook, he scored 23 points to become the 25th player in the NBA history with 25,000 points. Kawhi Leonard had 21 of his 33 points in the first half, and the Los Angeles Clippers put on an offensive show in a 136 and 121 win over the Detroit Pistons on Friday night.
On him now, he'll rise and fire from the paint.
Westbrook, who also had 9 assists, joined teammate James Harden on the list of players to score 25,000 points after Harden accomplished the feat in December. Westbrook reached the mark on his final basket, a running layup with 2 minutes 44 seconds left. Paul George added 18 points for the Clippers, who have won 7 of 8. Jalen Ivey had 28 points, and Bojan Bogdanovic added 26 for Detroit, which is 4 and 41 after a 2-1 start. Marcus Sasser added 21 points.
Did that against a very defensive capable.
Pistons throw it away.
Now with this, he recorded his 1,061st career game in double-digit scoring, and this also ties Hall of Fame point guard John Stockton for the 21st most such games in the NBA history. Congratulations, Westbrook, for all the accomplishments so far. All right, next up, we're going to have another one from the NBA. Nikola Jokic, who had 27 points, 22 rebounds, and 12 assists as the Denver Nuggets held off the short-handed Portland Trail Blazers 120-108 on Friday night.
February is underway. Good to see Joker smiling.
A little break did wonders for Jokic, who appeared to have an extra bounce after sitting out the game at Oklahoma City on Wednesday. He recorded his 15th triple-double of the season. Jamal Murray nearly had a triple-double too, finishing with 13 points, 10 assists, and 9 rebounds. He and Jokic, along with big three-pointers from Peyton Watson, helped the Nuggets fend off the Blazers down the stretch. Watson had 10 of his 14 points in the fourth quarter to help the Nuggets improve to 20-4 at home. Aaron Gordon finished with 18 as 7 Nuggets players scored in the double figures. Reserve Scoot Henderson scored 30 points and Anthony Simons added 29 for Portland team, missing some of its scoring punch, with Jeremy Grant and Shadon Sharpie sidelined due to injuries. Now moving right along, under the lights and in front of a deafening crowd at the Intermountain Health Freestyle International at Deer Valley Winter, Viniki won her 3rd World Cup of the 2023 and 24 season. The weather was not in the athletes' favor, with heavy snowfall through qualification slowing down the snow, ultimately taking away the triple jump opportunity from the athletes due to unsafe conditions. All athletes could only go off the double jump, which made it a different ballgame. At the end of the night under the Deer Valley lights, Viniki threw down a double full, besting all of the competitors and skied into the finish area. All smiles to take her 4th career win. Viniki further solidified herself as the strongest aerials athlete on the circuit, continuing to lead the overall World Cup standings. Danielle Scott and Abby Wilcox from Australia took the 2nd and 3rd position in the final, joining Viniki on the podium. All right, next up is from MotoGP, where riders are making preparations ahead of the MotoGP competition. What's more exciting is that the Marquez brothers will race on the same team. The MotoGP season is set to start soon as riders recently tested the track at the Sepang International Circuit in Malaysia for the 2nd day in a row. All eyes were directed to Alex Rins, who replaced 6-time world champion Marc Marquez in the Yamaha Monster Energy MotoGP team. Meanwhile, Marquez has left the team to join his brother Alex at the Gresini Racing team, who wins to seek their first championship since 2019. On the opposing ride, Rins' teammate Fabio Quartararo looks ready to regain the championship, which he won in 2021, while his rival, Ducati Lenovo's Francesco Bagnaia, is looking to win his 3rd consecutive title. All right, guys, that's a wrap for sports this hour. We're going to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll still have more information. So keep it here on the 3-Hour News Show on See Today.
Asian flavors is gaining more popularity around the world in the last decade. Personally love this, not just because it is familiar for our palate, but because the airiness, the textures of the youtiao, it's completely different than baguette. So with those appetites and with those pleasure-driven people, Menteng is a very special place for restaurant.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia keluar itu bergelombol, menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
Harus naik satu bukit sampai elevasi gua hari itu nyentuh 4.000-an lah.
I kind of want to die.
And we have more business updates right here from our nation, where the Association of Indonesian Automotive Manufacturers, or GAIKINDO, reported that over 1 million vehicles were sold in Indonesia last year.
The Indonesian government has announced plans to allocate around 4.8 billion rupiahs for this year's pre-employment program.
Now, the program aims to help boost economic recovery, especially for those affected by COVID-related layoffs.
The Indonesian government is once again providing food aid in the form of rice reserves to support the public amid higher prices of the commodity in the market.
Stok Bulog sekarang ini
Alhamdulillah masih pada posisi yang baik. Masih 1,4 juta ton.
China has been racing against time for rescue and disaster relief work after a landslide on Monday struck a mountainous village in southwest China's Yunnan province.
Good morning, Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and the world. Rise and shine, everyone. A brand new start to a brand new month and a brand new week.
Good morning. Good morning. It's like deja vu. Good.
It's like deja vu. It's like 4 hours with sports, entertainment as well.
It is time for Steve Today with Business with me, Caroline. All right, guys. See Indonesia, see the world, see today.
Hello, welcome back to our viewers in Indonesia, also across the world. Thank you so much for joining us back here in the 3-Hour News Show on See Today. And in case you just joined us, we still have 2 more hours to bring you the latest from Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and also around the world. My name is Hans Lango, your host for today.
Hey guys, my name is Rangga Estemat. Welcome to the 3-Hour News Show. We still have 2 more hours, like Hans said. And make sure, though, you follow us on our socials. We are on X, Instagram, and YouTube at See Today News. And now we have Aubrey. She's going to bring you the latest from the business world.
Yes, thank you, Rangga. And I am Aubrey Bear. We'll take a look at market and business update from the country, the region, and elsewhere around the world. But first, let's take a look at what made the top stories for today.
Indonesian Foreign Affairs Minister Retno Marsudi delivered her remarks at the opening plenary session of the 3rd European Union and Indo-Pacific Ministerial Forum in Brussels, Belgium, and reaffirmed Indonesia's unwavering support for Palestine.
Gojek Tokopedia, or Goto, announced that the company achieved positive EBITDA in the 4th quarter of 2023, marking the first ever profit on an adjusted basis.
In sports, Russell Westbrook of Los Angeles Clippers has become the 25th player in NBA history with 25,000 points.
And join us later in our Say the Story segment as we will meet Bass Boy and talk about his brand new single, Banyak Yang Bilang. Stay tuned. We'll get into that topic later in the last hour of the show, but now let's take a look at the first update for this hour and start with Gaza. Palestinian resistance movement Hamas is demanding Israel release Marwan Barghouti, a man some Palestinians see as their Nelson Mandela, who is also a prime candidate to become the president in the future, as well as the highest profile prisoner held by Israel. Hamas leaders demanded on Friday that Israel release Barghouti, a leader of the group's main political rival, Fatah, as part of any deal to end the fighting in Gaza.
Israel seeking the release of more than 100 hostages who are still being held by Hamas in Gaza, whereas Hamas is demanding an end to Israel's devastating military offensive and the release of the thousands of Palestinian prisoners.
Senior Hamas official Osama Hamdan has called for Barghouti's release as international mediators try to push Israel and Hamas toward an agreement after nearly 4 months of genocide. The demand brings new attention to Barghouti, who plays a central role in Palestinian politics even after spending more than 2 decades behind bars. His release could lay the groundwork for his eventual election to national office.
أنا أدعو الشعب الفلسطيني العظيم إلى الوحدة وإلى التلاحم وإلى إقامة حكومة وحدة وطنية وإلى الاستمرار في المقاومة الشعبية السلمية من أجل إنهاء الاحتلال، وأقول أنه لا يمكن أن يصنع السلام إلا بإنهاء الاحتلال. وبهذه المناسبة أوجه تحية للثورات العربية الشعبية الديمقراطية التي انتصرت في تونس وفي ليبيا وفي مصر.
Indonesian Foreign Affairs Minister Retno Marsudi was one of several foreign ministers who had the opportunity to speak at the opening plenary session of the 3rd EU Indo-Pacific Ministerial Forum in Brussels, Belgium, on Thursday and Friday.
Marsudi stressed the importance of strengthening cooperation for Indo-Pacific stability and ASEAN-EU partnership for upholding the international law.
The minister also made a statement on the situation in Palestine, showing Indonesia's continued commitment to support the region.
Bahwa ASEAN dan UE harus berada di garda depan
dalam menjaga konsistensi, menghormati hukum internasional, guna mencegah the mighty takes all. Hal ini termasuk di dalam isu Palestina, di mana lebih dari 7 dekade bangsa Palestina terus menghadapi ketidakadilan. Saya menegaskan di dalam pernyataan bahwa Indonesia tidak akan diam dan akan terus membantu perjuangan bangsa Palestina mendapatkan haknya, apapun tantangan yang harus dihadapi. Dan saya menyerukan kepada UE untuk menggunakan nurani, menghentikan kekejaman di Palestina. Sebagai pendukung hukum internasional, Uni Eropa harus konsisten dalam isu Palestina, karena konsistensi antara nilai dan perbuatan menunjukkan moralitas kita yang sesungguhnya.
Next update, the decision by several donors to suspend funding of the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine refugees in the Near East, or UNRWA, could force the agency to shut down operations by the end of February and exacerbate a humanitarian catastrophe in the Gaza Strip.
Donors, including the United States, Canada, and Britain, have suspended funding to UNRWA after Israel accused several UNRWA employees of their involvement in the October 7 attack on Israel. UNRWA said that it has also initiated an investigation into the allegations.
UNRWA is the primary humanitarian agency in Gaza with over 2 million people depending on it for their sheer survival. The agency's primary donor countries have switched off funding at a time when Gaza is undergoing a grave humanitarian crisis.
On Thursday, Gaza's health ministry said death toll from the Israeli repeated attacks on the enclave had exceeded 27,000. There are also hundreds of thousands more who have been made homeless by Israeli bombs, with the whole enclave facing a humanitarian catastrophe due to the Israeli siege.
As well as its work with Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, UNRWA provides assistance to people in the West Bank, Jordan, Lebanon, and Syria. Officials stress that without urgent funding, those areas will also be at risk. UNRWA Commissioner General Felipe Lazzarini said on Thursday that now is the time to reinforce and not to weaken UNRWA.
It is a very serious and dramatic development, actually, to suspend the financial resources of the agency. We are talking now about 15 countries that decided to suspend financial support to the agency. What UNRWA has, maybe financially, it will be enough till the end of this month, and after that, this decision have a very destructive impact on our operation, on millions of Palestinian refugees in the 5 fields of operation, not only in Gaza. We're providing also fuel to desalination centers, desalination plants, to sewage system, hospitals, clinics. We are the lifeline of Palestinians here. So stopping the fund or suspending the fund will have a very destructive impact on everything.
On to the next story. Indonesian Foreign Affairs Minister Retno Marsudi highlighted 2 key points during the 24th ASEAN-EU ministerial meeting in Brussels, Belgium.
The first point is related to the EU policy on the environment sector that she believes may block its partnership with ASEAN. Minister Marsudi said in a statement that ASEAN is also concerned about the same issue and suggested a more supportive approach to handle this matter.
The second point is about peace and stability, where Marsudi issued an appeal to countries that have suspended their financial support to UNRWA to prevent it from becoming a collective punishment against Palestine. The suspension came after Israel accused some of the agency staffs of their involvement in the wake of October 7. Now let's have a look at what Minister Marsudi had to say about this matter.
Dalam pertemuan saya juga menyampaikan concern terhadap kebijakan Uni Eropa yang dapat menghalangi kemitraan dengan ASEAN. Misalnya terkait kelapa sawit dan EUDR. Saya tekankan bahwa ASEAN juga peduli dengan kelestarian lingkungan dan pendekatan yang diambil haruslah saling membantu, bukan menghukum. Saya menekankan bahwa standar one size fits all tidak dapat diberlakukan. Jika tujuannya untuk memperkuat kerjasama, maka pilihannya hanya satu, yaitu saling bekerja sama, saling membantu, dan menghindari isu sustainability digunakan untuk alat proteksi di dalam perdagangan. Itu Indonesia juga menyampaikan appeal agar negara-negara yang menunda atau pause dukungan keuangan ke UNRWA untuk dapat mempertimbangkan kembali posisinya dan jangan sampai keputusan tersebut menjadi collective punishment kepada rakyat Palestina. Indonesia mendukung dibentuknya investigasi yang independen, kredibel, dan transparan untuk membuktikan tuduhan yang disampaikan kepada sejumlah pekerja UNRWA secara appropriate.
And moving on to Yemen now, thousands of Yemenis joined a mass rally in the capital Sana'a on Friday to show solidarity with Palestinians in Gaza and anger at Israel and the U.S.
The crowd chanted "Death to Israel" and "Death to America" as Israel's unprecedented genocide goes on. The Houthis have organized protests nearly every Friday since early October.
The last Friday's demonstrations came as the Shiite group continued their attacks on commercial shipping in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden with the aim of backing Hamas and Palestinians trapped in the Gaza Strip amid Israel's war on Hamas. The US and the United Kingdom have responded with multiple rounds of strikes on Houthi targets in Yemen.
Meanwhile, the Israeli military said late Friday a missile was intercepted that approached the country from the Red Sea, raising suspicion and was launched by Houthi. The Houthi did not immediately claim responsibility for the attack, but have launched a barrage of missiles towards southern Israel since October.
أمريكا هي صانعة الإرهاب، أمريكا هي أم الإرهاب، أمريكا هي مدبرة الإرهاب، أمريكا هي كل شيء للإرهاب. لولا أمريكا ما كان هناك موطئ قدم للصهاينة في بلاد فلسطين.
And now let's shift our attention to farmer protests in France. Farmers have lifted the last remaining roadblocks on main access route to Paris on Friday. This took place a day after the Prime Minister introduced new measures to protect their livelihoods.
On Thursday, following the government's announcement, the country's two major farmers' unions said they'd lift countrywide blockades.
Prime Minister Gabriel Attal announced tens of millions of euros in aid, tax breaks, and a promise not to ban pesticides in France that are allowed elsewhere in Europe. Thousands of French farmers have been demonstrating for a couple of weeks across the country in protest over low earnings, heavy regulation, and what they call unfair competition from abroad.
Since Monday, protesters have resorted to use hundreds of tractors, trailers, and even rumbling harvesters to block and slow traffic on major highways which connect to Paris. The sight of tractors' barricades created congestion, which forced authorities to divert some traffic to smaller roads.
The movement in France stems from a global food crisis, which has been aggravated by Russia's war in Ukraine. French farmers said that the war has driven up costs for fertilizer, energy, and other necessities needed to grow crops and feed livestock. This has made farming untenable for some.
And now let's move on. 3 Indonesian military personnel who guarded the Indonesia-Malaysia border have been freed by the Malaysian authorities.
Previously, the 3 personnel went to Malaysia for grocery shopping, but they were arrested for false allegations.
Initial reports said that on January 28th, the 3 military personnel went out of their posts for grocery shopping in Malaysia to buy LPG gas cylinders.
Upon their arrival in Malaysia, they were secured by local authorities amid soaring transnational crimes along inland borders. Malaysian authorities recently announced the release of Indonesian military personnel after they were found innocent for the falsely accusations.
Military District Commander of Pamtas Arm Braja Musti affirmed that his personnel were only shopping for grocery, considering that their border post was closer to Malaysia than the market in Indonesian local district.
Apa yang telah disampaikan Bapak Kasat dan Pangdam 12 Tanjung Pura bahwa 3 personil Satgas Pamtas RI Malaysia telah kembali ke kesatuannya dan telah bertugas seperti biasanya. Mereka atas nama Letu Arnet Satria Fajar, Sertu Erwin Prastia, dan Serda Muhammad Fikra. Kehadiran mereka saat ini merupakan bukti bahwa kabar negatif yang menerpa mereka adalah hoax atau berita bohong.
And now let's have a quick look at the updates regarding the upcoming Indonesian general elections on Indonesia Votes, 2024.
Chairman of Electoral Commission or KPK, Hashim Asyari, inaugurated new members in 29 regencies and cities across 9 provinces earlier today.
So they were sworn in at the inauguration ceremony, which was held at the KPU office in Jakarta.
And for more on the details, let's connect now online with our news team, Fahrian Bahri and Dian Merdekawati on the ground. Fahri, what can you tell us?
Good evening, everyone who's watching today. The General Election Commission Chairman has finished inaugurating 145 members of General Election Commission elected in 29 cities or regency in 9 provinces for the period 2024 to 2029. The inauguration ceremony was held at the General Election Commission Office, Jakarta, on today, February the 3rd, 2024. The inauguration ceremony itself was followed by taking the oath, signing the minutes of inauguration, and also integrity pact. As for the 29 cities or regencies, including Lebak Regency, Garut Regency, Magelang Regency, North Gorontalo Regency, Sanggau Regency, Yahukim Regency, and others, which comes from the 9 provinces, including Banten, West Java, Central Java, Gorontalo, East Nusa Tenggara, Central Papua, and others. As we know that Indonesia will hold general election on February the 14th, 2024, or less than 2 weeks. This including the election of president and vice president, election of members of regional representative council, election of members of People's Representative Council at the central, provincials, as well as city or regency levels. For that, in his delivery, General Election Commission Chairman Hashim Asyari stated that the importance of accelerating work ahead of the vote on February the 14th, 2024. He asked the elected members to immediately adjust the rhythm of work and understand all technical matters related to the organization of general election. Asyari also emphasized that members of General Election Commission in regencies or cities are the leaders of the general election activities in their respective regions. To know more about the inauguration ceremony, here's the statement from Hashim Asyari as General Election Commission Chairman.
KPU ini harus bekerja dengan berpedoman, berpegangan kepada aturan yang ditentukan di dalam undang-undang pemilu maupun peraturan KPU. Supaya kalau ada situasi-situasi apapun nggak mudah goyah, nggak mudah tergoda karena pegangannya adalah peraturan perundang-undangan ya. Kemudian yang kedua, harus memahami betul karakter lembaga KPU yang bersifat nasional, kemudian tetap dan mandiri, di antara yang bersifat nasional ini kan KPU berada di semua tingkatan, pusat, provinsi, kabupaten, kota, dan karakternya hierarkis. Sehingga dengan demikian teman-teman KPU kabupaten kota diminta menyesuaikan dengan karakter lembaga itu, mengikuti arahan-arahan yang ditugaskan oleh KPU pusat.
Right, the member or the one thing that should be underlined from his delivery is about the members of General Election Commission to work in accordance with the law, regulation, and the code of ethics of the general election organizers. On the other hand, General Election Commission also emphasized that the distribution of logistics in the 2024 general election can be handled properly, with the hope that the community can be facilitated to vote on February the 14th, 2024. Back to studio.
All right, thank you so much, Fahrian Bahri from KPU. And now let's move to another updates regarding the Indonesian elections. Indonesian presidential candidate listed under ballot number 2, Prabowo Subianto, attended a campaign rally held by Golongan Karya or Golkar Party on Friday at Sudiang Stadium in Makassar, South Sulawesi.
The campaign was attended by thousands of his supporters from various backgrounds and chairman of Golkar Party, Erlangga Hartarto.
In his speech, Prabowo expressed his gratitude to his supporters in Makassar and promised to become a good leader if elected as president.
Cukup semangat, saya berhasil merasakan dukungan yang luas. Saya merasakan getaran dukungan arus bawah yang luar biasa. Kami mengingatkan hari-hari terakhir terus kerja keras, meyakinkan rakyat, tapi dengan santun, dengan sopan, kita menjalankan kampanye kita dengan optimisme, dengan gembira, dengan baik sangka, dengan merangkul, dengan tema kerukunan persatuan bangsa.
Now from presidential candidate ballot number 2, we go to number 3. The Indonesian presidential and vice presidential candidate pair Ganjar Pranowo and Mahfud MD recently held a concert called Konser Salam Metal Tiga Menang Total, aimed to gain support for the upcoming elections.
The concert took place at Gelora Bung Karno Stadium in Senayan, South Jakarta, and featured local musicians. The main event began at 3 p.m. featuring dance performances, marching band, salawat recitation, and an opening speech from former Indonesian President and Chairman of Indonesian Democratic Party of Struggle, or PDIP, Megawati Soekarno Putri.
In addition, some musicians, including Kotak, Sandi Sandoro, Young Lex, and Tip X, went on stage to entertain supporters of Ganjar and Mahfud. At the peak of the event, legendary rock band Slang started their performance at 5:15 p.m., followed by the most awaited speech from Ganjar himself.
The concert is expected to reach 250,000 people from different elements of society, including volunteers, supporters, public figures, and celebrities. To anticipate the high enthusiasm, the pair's national campaign team has also prepared more than 2,000 security personnel to ensure a safe and smooth event.
According to head of the national campaign team, Arshad Rashid, this concert was not only considered as Ganjar's campaign rally in Jakarta, but also as a manifestation of the collective spirit towards a better Indonesia. Data revealed more than 660 land conflicts occurred in Indonesia from 2020 to 2023, and one of those conflicts is currently happening in Jayapura Regency, Papua.
Now, See Today News team Adin Fatoni and video journalist Oswald Nainggolan portrayed one of the 44 families who are fighting to defend their indigenous land.
We'll see the story in this following clip, but stay with us because after the break, we have the latest from Southeast Asia.
Jangan main-main adat. Bagi saya tidak boleh main-main adat. Kalau Anda tahu adat, baru Anda pakai. Kalau Anda tidak tahu adat, jangan.
Nah, dapat itu.
Ya, isi paling dalam ini.
Nah, potong dulu, potong baik-baik.
Baik, perkenalkan nama saya Rosita Tecuari. Saya sendiri adalah Ketua Organisasi Perempuan Adat Suku Nambrong.
Last December, Rosita took me to see a part of the forest that belongs to the Namblong tribe. Namblong tribe is a group of 44 families. One of them is Tecuari family who live in a certain area within Nimbokrang sub-district in Jayapura Regency, Papua province. To get to Nimbokrang, we had to drive at least 2 hours from Jayapura city. As it is located in a 774 square kilometer valley, Nimbokrang has a lot of forest, which is a home for a very diverse types of plants and animals. The fresh sprouts of plants was a sign of deforestation that happened some time ago. Villages nearby used this forest for their everyday life. However, their livelihoods are currently in jeopardy as their forest is being taken over. The trees have been cut down to make way for the plantation. In 2022, the Environment and Forestry Ministry has revoked the permits of 192 companies to use more than 3 million hectares of land. However, the deforestation is very obvious and we only have a limited time to film it.
We're heading back to the village. Let's hope that this road leads us. Let's hope we tread this road in the safest way possible.
After seeing the deforestation, we went to an area where the forest was still intact. It was located not far from the area that was recently deforested. It is within the customary territory of the Namblong tribe.
Now people, what's in front of me is Muaif River in the valley of Grime. Now this part of land where I'm standing is a part of land that is being safeguarded by people of Nambrong up until today. So let's then continue towards our location or target.
Before we left the forest, we sat down together to take a little break and recharge our energy. We did not bring any food on this trip, but do not worry because the forest has provided us with what we need, calories, but not the usual one.
Ya, si paling dalam ini. Nah, potong dulu, potong baik-baik.
A bit like cassava, singkong, dried out. There's a sweet taste a little to this.
Sama yang manisnya ada.
Yeah, pretty much like cassava.
Ini yang satunya.
Oh, thank you. Terima kasih, Mama. Got a big chunk of another Ghana.
The sustainability of the rich potential of the forests are dependent on how the Namblong tribe navigates through all the changes that are happening around them. Someone has to take the role of leading the tribe for the Tecuari family. It fell on the hand of a man named Abner Tecuari. He is the man who keeps the customary law to be implemented.
Hukum adat di Namblong itu hutan itu seharusnya kita duduk bersama, pihak perusahaan, pihak pemerintah. Kita duduk bersama berunding sesuai ketentuan-ketentuan aturan yang berlaku. Terus hutan yang kami menjaga dan yang kami melindungi itu untuk generasi anak cucu ke depan yang akan datang maksudnya. Jadi hutan itu kami di hukum adat tidak bisa sembarang kami menghancurkan hutan karena yang kami pikir masih ada generasi-generasi akan datang.
Abner leads the Techuari family in initiating a movement to take this matter to court to evict the company from their forest. After consolidating with other families, the Techuaris spearhead the action. Rosita Techuari joins efforts as part of Namblong Tribe Women's Movement.
Karena di hutan lah terdapat makanan, kehidupan di sana. Di hutan juga tersedia obat-obatan, dan ini supermarket bagi kami masyarakat adat. Kami mau butuh sesuatu, kami akan ke hutan untuk mengambilnya. Inilah laboratorium bagi kami, dan inilah sekolah bagi kami. Kami akan belajar di sini. Di sini kami akan terus berjuang untuk pemerintah harus mengembalikan wilayah adat kami, karena bagi kami ini wilayah adat tersisa. Jangan main-main adat. Bagi saya tidak boleh main-main adat. Kalau Anda tahu adat, baru Anda pakai itu. Kalau Anda tidak tahu adat, jangan.
Since 2022, the Techuari family has taken some legal action. Although the Environment and Forestry Ministry had already revoked the company's license, in reality, they have not stopped since. According to the data from the Consortium for Agrarian Reform, or locally known as KPA, there were more than 4,000 land conflicts in Indonesia from 2004 to 2023. Whereas in 1960, Indonesia established agrarian law to anticipate land conflicts.
Saya pesan kepada siapapun dia pemimpin yang terpilih menjadi seorang presiden, jangan menganggap kami masyarakat adat Papua itu adalah pengacau keamanan. Kami cuma ingin mempertahankan wilayah adat kami. Kalau pemerintah Republik Indonesia ingin mengelola kekayaan yang ada di tanah Papua, datang dan menghargai kami, meminta dengan cara baik-baik, mengatur dengan baik, karena kami adalah masyarakat.
So spicy.
Absolutely delicious.
You know, it's actually pretty good.
Satu, dua, tiga. Come see the nature, only on See Indonesia.
Come see the beauty, only on See Indonesia.
Only on See Indonesia.
Berangkat aja dulu, kerjakan apa yang ada di depan kalian. Setidaknya kalian hari ini walaupun tidak mendapatkan uang, tapi kalian mendapatkan kesempatan.
Walaupun di awal-awal itu banyak sekali rintangan dan tantangan.
Kalian berproses aja dulu, jalan aja dulu. Kalau udah waktunya kalian untuk dapetin uang akan datang nyamperin kalian. Hal yang paling sangat utama untuk mengawali bisnis, ridho dan restu orang tua. Itu hal dan modal paling besar dalam mengawali usaha.
Ke Binjai mau migrasi.
Cakep.
Anjay, aku depotsi.
Ya aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik loh.
Aduh ya Allah.
Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi itu hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mars.
Pemain.
Hijau sama yang merah ini tuh rumah pribumi. Jadi aku taruh di dalam, makanya rasanya lebih welcome gitu. Modern banget. Menurut aku ya, kita belum ngerasa memiliki kalau belum ada sejarahnya.
let a buddy talk?
Enggak. Dia hostnya, kita co-hostnya.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. That's actually a good hack. Because I used to live in Canada. That was our trick.
Point to Manado on the smack. I'm horrible. I told you I'm bad.
Dikira dengan banyaknya informasi itu kan jadi makin gampang gitu nulis.
Iya.
Tapi ternyata susah banget.
About you that makes me indulge in the company of your own.
It was the most difficult and challenging 5 years reign ever faced by a Malaysian king. Just 1 year after Sultan Abdullah was sworn in to the throne in January 2019, the country was confronted with a political leadership crisis when Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad resigned as Prime Minister in February 2020. This led to 3 other changes to the Prime Minister's position in the next 3 years. The COVID-19 global pandemic in 2021 forced the king to declare emergency rule for the first time in more than 50 years as the country faced a sluggish, unpredictable economic conditions. Sultan Abdullah's most important legacy was his proposal to set up a unity government to stabilize the uncertain political climate during his reign.
Kerajaan perpaduan yang kita ada pada hari ini kerana kerajaan perpaduan ini adalah merupakan titah daripada baginda tuanku. Kerana untuk menjadi penyelesaian kepada konflik politik yang berlaku sebelum PRU 15 dan selepas PRU 15. Kerana pada PRU 15 tidak ada mana-mana satu gabungan parti politik pun yang mendapat undi majoriti. Jadi waktu itu parlimen tergantung. Jadi di situ Istana Negara dengan budi bicara dan kebijaksanaan tuanku menitahkan kepada pemimpin-pemimpin parti-parti politik ini agar membentuk sebuah kerajaan perpaduan.
For ordinary Malaysians, he would be best remembered for his compassion and love for the people, often setting aside royal protocols to be close to his subjects.
Saya fikir legasi yang terbesar adalah meletakkan institusi yang di-Pertuan Agong itu di tempat yang sangat tinggi. Tuanku telah pun meletakkan benchmark yang begitu tinggi di mana institusi itu begitu dihargai oleh rakyat dan ianya merupakan penjelmaan wajah institusi yang di-Pertuan Agong dengan dilihat sebagai institusi yang begitu rapat dengan rakyat. Mungkin sebelum ini ada yang melihat bahawa baginda bersemayam di Istana Negara dengan pagar berduri, mungkin susah untuk mendapat akses. Rakyat pun tidak semua dapat mengunjungi istana, hanya kenamaan-kenamaan tertentu. Tetapi baginda mengubah persepsi itu. Memang mungkin tak semua dapat hadir ke istana, tetapi baginda sendiri yang turun ke desa-desa terpencil, yang turun ke pangkuan rakyat untuk bertemu dengan rakyat. Jadi bagi saya itulah legasi yang terbesar di mana tuanku mencerminkan institusi yang di-Pertuan Agong sehingga menampakkan institusi itu sesuatu institusi yang begitu istimewa, begitu akrab, sehingga menjadikan bahawa institusi itu begitu istimewa di kalangan rakyat.
I may not be the King of Malaysia after January, but if I can be, King of all of your hearts. That's my line.
Sultan Ibrahim of Johor was sworn in as a new king on 31st January for a fresh 5-year reign in the country's unique rotational system among the royal families of 9 states in Peninsular Malaysia. Sultan Ibrahim is known for his firm, hands-on approach on social and economic issues often expressing his views publicly.
Balai Rung Sri.
He has warned politicians that he would not be a puppet king, as he would take stern action on those who plan to destabilize the country.
Jadi kita mengharapkan agar Istana Negara kan memimpin pemulihan ekonomi itu sendiri. Dan untuk memulihkan ekonomi, of course, sudah barang tentu kita perlukan kestabilan politik. Kan, tanpa kestabilan politik, kita tak akan mencapai kemakmuran. Apatah lagi untuk membina sebuah Malaysia Madani. Jadi sebab itu saya mengharapkan agar Istana Negara pada kali ini untuk pemerintahan yang untuk tempoh ini lebih berperanan lebih aktif lagi dalam membantu kerajaan dan juga membantu rakyat.
The new king, the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Ibrahim, would bring a very different leadership style. He has promised to crack down on corruption and be more hands-on in the country's economic reforms. His Majesty has also declared openly that his main interest is to serve and protect the well-being of the rakyat of the more than 30 million Malaysians. This is Basil Siswo reporting for See Today from Istana Negara, Kuala Lumpur.
China Earthquake Network Center reported that the quake rocked the Ertupan County in Aksu Prefecture shortly after 2 a.m. local time.
Minister January Makamba was a guest in one of our news programs, a 3-hour news show yesterday. While he was in the studio, he used the opportunity to explain the current state of diplomatic ties between Tanzania and Indonesia.
Indonesian Foreign Affairs Minister Retno Marsudi addressed the UN Security Council during an open debate in New York.
Ini adalah open debate Dewan Keamanan PBB ketiga mengenai Gaza dalam 3 bulan terakhir dan Indonesia hadir di ketiganya.
Indonesian Foreign Affairs Minister Retno Marsudi addressed the UN Security Council during an open debate in New York.
Ini adalah open debate Dewan Keamanan PBB ketiga mengenai Gaza dalam 3 bulan terakhir dan Indonesia hadir di ketiganya.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia itu bergelombol, menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
Asian flavors is gaining more popularity around the world in the last decade. Personally love this, not just because it is familiar for our palate, but because the airiness, the textures of the youtiao, it's completely different than baguette. So with those appetites and with those pleasure-driven people, Menteng is a very special place for restaurant.
Good morning, Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and the world. Rise and shine, everyone. A brand new start to a brand new month and a brand new week. Here at
Good morning. Good morning. It's a deja vu. Good.
It's like deja vu. It's like with sports, entertainment as well.
It is time for See Today with Business with me, Caroline. All right, guys. See Indonesia, see the world, see.
Satu bukit sampai elevasi gua hari itu nyentuh 4.000-an lah.
I kind of want to die.
Yes, welcome back to the 3-Hour News Show, and now you're watching See Today Business, still with me, Aubrey Bear. Yes, Gojek Tokopedia or Goto announced that they have achieved positive EBITDA in the fourth quarter of 2023, which marks the company's first ever profit on an adjusted basis. The statement was announced on TikTok's newsroom website following the finalization of TikTok and Goto partnership. Positive EBITDA or earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization indicates profitability or an adjusted basis or at the operating level. Goto also stated that their full-year losses was lower than 3.8 trillion rupiahs, which is lower than their previous forecast. According to Goto Group CEO Patrick Waluyo, as the company's profitability and cash flow continues to improve, they will optimize their use of capital, which can include a share buyback initiative. The full details of their 2023 fourth quarter and full-year performance will be released later in March. On a weekly basis or from Monday to Friday, Goto's shares rose by over 15.3%. It closed at 90 rupiah per share on Friday. And from the Sharia sector, Bank Syariah Indonesia or BSI announced on Thursday that they recorded a positive performance in 2023 with growing net profit, consumer base, and other parameters. Following these achievements, the bank was listed in the top 10 national and global Islamic bank, and it's expected to grow bigger in the future.
Bank Syariah Indonesia or BSI announced that the company closed the year 2023 with 5.7 trillion rupiah of net profit, or up 33.8% compared to the previous year. All of BSI parameters were showing positive performance and grew 10 to 16%, including asset, financing, third parties financing, CASA, fee-based income, margin income, and profit sharing. BSI customers have soared 10.5% and reached 19.65 million since January to December 2023, making it the Syariah bank with customer base ranked 5 nationally and ranked 1 globally. BSI share was also up around 32% since 2024 and jumped above 70% than a year before and reached the level 2,310, the highest level in the last 2 years. Furthermore, BSI market cap surpassed 107.48 trillion rupiah on January 31st, making it ranked 11th globally for the market cap. This achievement showed that Syariah Bank has a chance to grow bigger in the future.
Ini menunjukkan bahwa white space ataupun upside dari pertumbuhan perbankan syariah di Indonesia ini sangat lebar ya. Jadi artinya strategi kita adalah strategi Blue Ocean. Dan di space syariah ini kompetitor terbesar kita belum ada gitu. Jadi sebenarnya BSI punya kesempatan ya menggunakan kelebihannya, ototnya dan juga infrastruktur yang ada untuk cepat lari lebih cepat. Jadi terkait dengan misalnya ada peluang ya nanti kita bisa lihat dan itu biasanya peluang itu tidak datang mendadak ya. Jadi artinya kita ada perlu waktu untuk mengkaji dan melihat lebih dalam seperti apa peluang tadi.
To maintain these records, BSI will optimize the services to customers by opening the branches all over Indonesia and expanding business overseas, which is currently in Dubai, UAE, and Saudi Arabia in the future. BSI will also increase the accessibility through digital channel, including QRIS, ATM, EDC, Smart Agent, and BSI Mobile.
And those were the economic and business update for this hour. When we return, Rangga will bring you the latest from the world of sport.
Ijo sama yang merah ini tuh rumah pribumi. Jadi aku taruh di dalam, makanya rasanya lebih welcome gitu. Modern banget. Menurut aku ya, kita belum ngerasa memiliki kalau belum ada sejarahnya.
Berangkat aja dulu, kerjakan apa yang ada di depan kalian. Setidaknya kalian hari ini walaupun tidak mendapatkan uang, tapi kalian mendapatkan kesempatan.
Walaupun di awal-awal itu banyak sekali rintangan dan tantangan.
Kalian berproses aja dulu, jalan aja dulu. Kalau udah waktunya kalian untuk dapetin uang akan datang nyamperin kalian. Hal yang paling sangat utama untuk mengawali bisnis, ridho dan restu orang tua. Itu hal dan modal paling besar dalam mengawali usaha.
Ke Binjai mau migrasi.
Cakep.
Anjay, aku depotsi.
Ya, aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik loh.
Aduh ya Allah.
Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi tuh hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mars.
Pemain.
Welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk.
Enggak, dia hostnya, kita co-host.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. That's actually a good hack, because I used to live in Canada. That was our trick.
Point to Manado on the smack. I'm horrible. I told you I'm bad.
Dikira dengan banyaknya informasi itu kan jadi makin gampang gitu nulisnya.
Iya.
Tapi ternyata susah banget.
About you that makes me indulge in the company of your own kind.
So spicy.
Absolutely delicious. You know, it's actually pretty good.
Satu, dua, tiga.
Come see the nature. Only on See Indonesia. Come see the beauty. Only on See Indonesia.
Only on See Indonesia.
And we have more business updates right here from our nation, where the Association of Indonesian Automotive Manufacturers, or GAIKINDO, reported that over 1 million vehicles were sold in Indonesia last year.
The Indonesian government has announced plans to allocate around 4.8 billion rupiahs for this year's pre-employment program.
Now, the program aims to help boost economic recovery, especially for those affected by COVID-related layoffs.
The Indonesian government is once again providing food aid in the form of rice reserves to support the public amid higher prices of the commodity in the market.
Stok bulog sekarang ini alhamdulillah masih pada posisi yang baik. Masih 1,4 juta ton.
China has been racing against time for rescue and disaster relief work after a landslide on Monday struck a mountainous village in southwest China's Yunnan province.
Asian flavors is gaining more popularity around the world in the last decade. Personally love this, not just because it is familiar for our palate, but because the airiness, the textures of the youtiao, it's completely different than baguette. So with those appetite and with those pleasure-driven people, Menteng is a very special place for restaurant.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia keluar dia itu bergelombol, menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
Hey guys, welcome back to the 3-Hour News Show on See Today, and this is your second sports update of the afternoon. We're going to start with the NBA now, where Russell Westbrook scored 23 points to become the 25th player in NBA history with 25,000 points. Kawhi Leonard had 21 of his 33 points in the first half, and the Los Angeles Clippers put on an offensive show in a 136-125 win over the Detroit Pistons on Friday night. Westbrook, who also had 9 assists, joined teammate James Harden on the list of players to score 25,000 points after Harden accomplished the feat in December. Westbrook reached the mark on his final basket, a running layup with 2 minutes 44 seconds left. Paul George added 18 points for the Clippers, who have won 7 of 8. Jalen Ivey had 28 points and Bojan Bogdanovic added 26 for Detroit, which is 4-41 after a 2-1 start. Marcus Sasser added 21 points.
Did that against a very defensive case.
Meanwhile, Nikola Jokic had 27 points, 22 rebounds, and 12 assists as Denver Nuggets held off the short-handed Portland Blazers 120-108 on Friday night.
February is underway. Good to see Joe.
A little break did wonders for Jokic, who appeared to have an extra bounce after sitting out the game at Oklahoma City on Wednesday. He recorded his 15th triple-double of the season, where Jamal Murray nearly had a triple-double too, finishing with 13 points, 10 assists, and 9 rebounds. He and Jokic, along with big three-pointers from Peyton Watson, helped the Nuggets fend off the Blazers down the stretch. Watson had 10 of his 14 points in the fourth quarter to help the Nuggets improve to 20-4 at home. Aaron Gordon finished with 18 as 7 Nuggets players scored in double figures. Reserve Scoot Henderson scored 30 points and Anthony Simons added 29 for a Portland team, missing some of its scoring punch with Jeremy Grant and Shaden Sharpe sidelined due to injuries. Moving right along, under the lights and in front of a defending crowd at the Intermountain held Freestyle International at Deer Valley, Winter Winicky won her 3rd World Cup of the 2023-24 season. The weather was not in the athletes' favor, with heavy snowfall through qualification slowing down the snow, ultimately taking away the triple jump opportunity from the athletes due to unsafe conditions, where all athletes could only go off the double jump, which made it a different ballgame. At the end of the night under the Deer Valley lights, Winicky threw down a back double full, besting all of the competitors and skied into the finish area. All smiles to take her 4th career win. Now Winicky further solidified herself as the strongest aerials athlete on the circuit, continuing to lead the overall World Cup standings. Danielle Scott and Abby Wilcox from Australia took the 2nd and 3rd position in the final, joining Winicky on the podium. All right, guys, that's a quick wrap from the world of sports this afternoon. I'm going to take a quick break. But after that, make sure you're still tuning in because we have the next hour, which is See the Stories, our signature segment, of course. So keep it here on the 3-Hour News Show on See Today.
Asian flavors is gaining more popularity around the world in the last decade. Personally love this, not just because it is familiar for our palate, but because the airiness, the textures of the youtiao, it's completely different than baguette. So with those appetites and with those pleasure-driven people, Menteng is a very special place for restaurant.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia itu bergelombol menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
Satu bukit sampai elevasi gua hari itu nyentuh 4.000-an lah.
I kind of want to die.
And we have more more business updates right here from our nation, where the Association of Indonesian Automotive Manufacturers, or GAIKINDO, reported that over 1 million vehicles were sold in Indonesia last year.
The Indonesian government has announced plans to allocate around 4.8 billion rupiah for this year's pre-employment program.
Now, the program aims to help boost economic recovery, especially for those affected by COVID-related layoffs.
The Indonesian government is once again providing food aid in the form of rice reserves to support the public amid higher prices of the commodity in the market.
Stok Bulog sekarang ini alhamdulillah masih pada posisi yang baik. Masih 1,4 juta ton.
China has been racing against time for rescue and disaster relief work after a landslide on Monday struck a mountainous village in southwest China's Yunnan province.
Good morning, Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and the world. Rise and shine, everyone. A brand new start to a brand new month and a brand new week. Here at
Good morning. Good morning. It's a deja vu. Good.
Deja vu. It's like with sports, entertainment as well.
It is time for See Today with Business with me, Caroline. All right, guys. See Indonesia, see the world, see today.
Hello, welcome back to the 3-Hour News Show on See Today. Now for the next hour, See the Story segment, and you're still with me, Hans Lam.
And I'm Ranga Estamat. And for the latest updates, you can also follow us on Instagram, X, and YouTube at See Today News, and also with us.
I am Aubrey Bear, but before anything else, let's see what's making headline for today.
Indonesian Foreign Affairs Minister Retno Marsudi delivered her remarks at the opening plenary session of the 3rd European Union and Indo-Pacific Ministerial Forum in Brussels, Belgium, and reaffirmed Indonesia's unwavering support for Palestine.
Gojek Tokopedia or Goto announced that the company achieved positive EBITDA in the 4th quarter of 2023, marking the first ever profit on an adjusted basis.
And in sports, Russell Westbrook of Los Angeles Clippers has become the 25th player in NBA history with 25,000 points.
And now, in just a moment, in our See the Story segment, we will meet with Bass Boy and talk about his brand new single, Banyak Yang Bilang. Stay tuned.
White be penuhi, white be clean, white tee loose fit, white baggy G. You can smell waktu I datang. It's my cologne, diselin sambil ku bakar. Sisa last night, sisa selin, sisaan aku tak makan. Aku dining di Michelin. Mohon maaf, mohon izin semisal. Mohon maaf, mohon izin. You say aku tak maskulin. I got the world, the planet hanging around my BB Westwood, swinging dari depan to the audience. Semua singing dari depan to the lo aja bro, silakan ngerap sampai mati. Apa yang gua buat lo gak bakalan ngerti. BAS dan BOI, intellectual property. Might be like aku too soft, might be like aku too flashy, might be like too fast, might be like aku too sassy, might be like aku too flashy. Everything's true. Might be like aku too soft, might be like aku too flashy, might be like too fast, might be like aku too sassy, might be like aku too flashy. Everything's true. Might be like aku ni A, might be like aku ni B, might be like aku ni C, might be like aku ni D. Sekarang saya saku A, lu kurang, lu si B. Sunglass aku 2C, automatic terus snelling breaker dan semua. Kebanyakan membilangi tak mau berkeringat, tapi mau nama wangi. Agak lu siwok, but you never bangun pagi. Shut the fuck up boy, you broke. Wajar aku pecundangi. Might be like aku too soft, might be like aku too flashy, might be like aku too sassy, might be like aku too flashy. Everything's true. Might be like aku too soft, might be like aku too flashy,
man.
Hey.
Wow, congratulations for the new single.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
coming
so
by
much.
again.
Again, yes.
Please,
Thank you
please,
so
please
much
have
for
a
having
seat, have a
me.
seat.
Have a seat.
Banyak yang bilang.
Let me put it here.
All right. So banyak yang bilang, lots of people said.
A lot of people said.
A lot of people said.
People be saying.
So people be saying what to you about this single?
So basically, people be saying that I'm not hip hop enough because to most of them it's like not masculine enough. I mean,
Yeah.
You've heard the music. It's
True.
But it's so cool. I really like it, you know?
Thank you.
We're like dancing here, you know?
Come on. Because I told you before we went on air earlier that I love this because this is danceable. Like dancing.
Yeah.
It is made for that.
It is,
made-
yes, dancing. It's sassy. Unlike the last single before this, New Cartier,
Was-
it was ballad, more like
Reflective.
Yeah, more to reflective kind of thing.
It's like 3M, yeah? Reflective.
Yeah, it's 3M. But when you were actually getting all the comments about this particular single, what came up to your mind when they say it's not that hip hop?
Oh, yeah, basically it's not something I took personally because it's something fun. That's the fun of the music.
Yeah.
Because people have different preferences.
Yeah.
True.
Whatever.
True.
And me too, as a music enjoyer, music listener, I don't enjoy every single music output there is.
Yeah.
So the comments like this, I took it for something that maybe I can make fun of. Because it's fun.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
fun. It's actually hot takes.
Yeah.
Hot opinions are fun.
Yeah.
So those takes from those people, I turn them into a fun thing. Put it on a fun beat. Why should I be so gloomy?
Yeah.
Why should I overthink about
Yeah.
the comments? Of course, I cannot please everybody.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I
But
will never.
talking about this song, can you tell us about the behind the story song?
Behind the
Yeah,
story,
yeah.
So basically, it's not, like I said, it's nothing personal. But basically, there are this view, I think, which kind of look on the younger generations of musicians trying to put their art with the new platform like TikTok
Yeah.
to make contents.
True.
Like there are some, let's say, discussions on Twitter or somewhere where musicians should not make contents. Like real musician is not, like what's real nowadays?
Yeah. So it's a social construct, basically.
Yeah, it's a social construct. Yeah.
Social.
Exactly.
Now, that being said, musicians these days being put in boxes. And what are your takes on that?
My take is the song.
The song.
The song is the
So
thing.
this is actually the statement.
Yeah, this is the statement because it's made by a rapper, but it's not that rappy, but
Yeah.
it still have the hip hop attitude,
True.
the flex, the whatever, the swag is there, but it's not presented on a very conventional way, I
True.
think, which
Yeah.
is already done by countless artists
Yeah.
from the motherland of
Hip hop.
which the
okay.
music already evolved so much today.
And talking about flex, you mentioned some brands in the lyrics.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
think the song will relate to some people?
I think so, yeah. I mean, the brand is not as something to relate to, but is more like a reference of the lifestyle.
Yeah.
A certain kind of imagery that I want to put out because you might say that people that wear mostly Chanel will have a different kind of vibe than people that wear mostly Gucci, right?
Yes,
So
true.
that's side that I want to portray, not as the materialistic or
Yeah, okay. But Best Boy, I heard you collaborated with other artists or producer for the song.
Yes.
Tell us more about that.
So I work with Iki. The producer name is CVX.
Yeah.
Old friend of mine. We've been working since my day ones. I know this dude is the one who I would came for every time I want to make a more electronic sounding kind of song like this. He's the dude. So when I have this idea to make this song with this kind of sound, I immediately WhatsApp him. Yo, dude, I have this idea. Blah 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 blah. Here's the draft. Let's make this music. And then we made the music, and then the music is out, and then I'm here. Then the rest is history.
Now, We had a couple of rappers coming to the studio in various programs of See Today News. We had you in Body Talk. We also had
Lays.
Yes, Lays. We also had Tuan 13. But basically, Indonesia has a vast range of talents when it comes to rap and hip hop. But how much do you think, or do you see the opportunities of rappers, of Indonesian rappers, in our own local industry?
It's actually so big because my personal take is that hip hop is this art form where it's so versatile. It actually doesn't have any format.
Yeah.
It could be anything.
So you see, it's a spectrum.
Yeah.
So you can't be like, one person can't be like identical with another.
Yeah, it cannot.
Something like that.
It could be so much more than the popular or the stereotypical format, like the boom bap or whatever, the usually stereotypical view of the genre of the culture. But I mean, if you see today hip hop is H&M, hip hop is Zara, hip hop is Kahitna wearing off-white. I mean,
True.
hip hop is everywhere. It's the pop today.
Yeah.
It's the pop of today. So if you ask about the opportunity for hip hop acts in Indonesia, how big? Like super big. Super big, because I think the next hit music will be hip hop, because it already is outside, but it will be in Indonesia, I think.
Does the ecosystem support? Does the ecosystem support the local rappers?
Yes, but we could do with more support. I suppose. We could always do better.
Yes, of course.
It's going good, but could be better.
Could be better.
Could be better. Okay.
Everything could be better.
Yeah.
But talking about your career, Bass Boy, you started your career in 2015 and released your debut mini album in March 2019. And as a rapper, how hard is it to pursue the career path in the local music industry?
It's hard, of course. I mean,
It's hard.
It's a career.
Yeah.
There are no career that is easy.
There's no such thing as free lunch.
Yeah, there's no such thing as free lunch. And then, I mean, when we put it into work, every work must be tiresome. If it's not tiresome, you're not working then, right? But I mean, it's hard, but it's not at the same time, because basically I do it not for a career. Initially I do it because
you just
I just want to do it,
Yeah.
just for the sake.
You love it, right?
Yeah. And turns out it had a perspective. I could see that I could make something out of it, and then I chased the hell out of it. And then there was moments too where I realized that there are moments, especially on my early days, it's like I don't put enough effort on my career. Like I say to people that this is my career, but in reality, I didn't treat it like a career. I have no discipline. I have no work ethics. I mean, when we're talking about work, being a rapper or being a presenter like you guys or being whatever it is, it needs discipline. It needs work ethics.
True.
It needs persistence. I mean, it needs consistency. It needs to be done. It needs to be
everything that needed to be done.
Yeah. You cannot just put out a song and then wish it went big and then it will save your life. I mean, sometimes my song goes great numerically, sometimes it's not. Well, I make it not because to aim that, I mean, we all wish that it's success numerically, statistically successful, but it's not the objectives that the song was made.
Yeah. So you think you can do more then?
Yeah, of course, I could always do more.
Now, you were actually mentioning some of the professions earlier, some jobs, rappers, presenters like us, but you also a radio announcer.
Yeah.
So since 2022. Okay. How? Okay. Being a radio announcer, every single day, also you're in the morning show.
Yes, in the morning.
You also have the commitment of being in the studio before 6 a.m. And also you are serving your listeners, as well as monitoring the music industry and also the map of the music industry. Let's say in Indonesia, it comes to a local or international music in that sense. How has it supporting your musical career or your musical sense or juices?
Oh,
in this case,
being a radio announcer helps me in a lot of ways. First thing first, it made me wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
Of course.
Of course.
Great, that's actually great because I've never done that in my life. I always wake up late. At first, on the first month to wake
As a musician?
As a musician, yeah, I always wake up late.
Yeah.
But I mean, on the first month of being the radio announcer, it was like hell to wake up every morning. I was sick. I even got a fever.
Really?
Yeah, because my body is not used to, right? But after a month, I was realizing that, damn, this is great to wake up every morning, like early. It's great for me. I got time. I mean, by 10 a.m., I already have so much things done.
Yes.
Then after that, one thing that I really love working at the radio is that I don't have to dedicate dedicated time to, you know, to listen on the laptop, on my phone, to the top 40 sounds of today, because that's not actually usually what I listen to daily. But on the radio, I don't have to do it dedicatively. It plays every day.
On its own.
On its own.
Yeah.
So I kind of age my senses of, so this is the sound of today. So I'm more aware about the sound of today, about the trend of today. Which is not necessarily important, but it's good if you have that information. So you could make a better decision like if you have more information. Right?
And also you get to see what does the market look like these days?
These days, today. Like
today.
The real face.
The real face. So you can actually you know, target them even more bullseye. Love it. Right. So I think we will go for a bit of break at the moment. But when we return, we'll play a fun game with Buzz.
Oh, it's game time.
Doing it, game time. Let's not go anywhere.
So spicy.
Absolutely delicious.
You know, it's actually pretty good.
Satu, dua, tiga.
Come see the nature, only on See Indonesia. Come see the beauty, only on See Indonesia.
Only on See Indonesia.
Berangkat aja dulu, kerjakan apa yang ada di depan kalian. Setidaknya kalian hari ini walaupun tidak mendapatkan uang, tapi kalian mendapatkan kesempatan.
Walaupun di awal-awal itu banyak sekali rintangan dan tantangan.
Kalian berproses aja dulu, jalan aja dulu. Kalau udah waktunya kalian untuk dapetin uang akan datang nyamperin kalian. Hal yang paling sangat utama untuk mengawali bisnis, ridho dan restu orang tua. Itu hal dan modal paling besar dalam mengawali usaha.
Ke Binjai mau migrasi.
Cakep.
Anjay, aku depotsi.
Ya aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik loh.
Aduh ya Allah.
Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi tuh hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mars.
Pemain.
Ijo sama yang merah ini tuh rumah pribumi, jadi aku taruh di dalam, makanya rasanya lebih welcome gitu, modern banget. Menurut aku ya, kita belum ngerasa memiliki kalau belum ada sejarahnya.
Hey there, buddies. Welcome back to another episode episode of Buddy Talk.
Enggak. Dia hostnya, kita co-hostnya.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. That's actually a good hack, because I used to live in Canada. That was our trick.
Point to Manado on the smash. I'm horrible. I told you I'm bad.
Dikira dengan banyaknya informasi itu kan jadi makin gampang gitu nulisnya.
Iya.
Tapi ternyata susah banget.
About you that makes me indulge in the company of your own kind.
Yes, you're still watching our signature segment, See the Stories, and we're still here with Busboy. But by the way, talking about your career, I heard you represent Indonesia as an ambassador of a famous shoe brand in France. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And speaking of fashion,
Are these the shoes?
No, it's not.
No, okay.
It's not this.
So speaking of that, most rappers have their signature styles. So do you have a signature style, especially when you're on stage?
When I'm on stage, especially when I'm on stage, I would wear something more extravagant than these. I would call these my street attire.
Yeah.
So this is the attire I wear every day for my daily activities. But on stage, usually it was basically still inspired from the street style like this.
Baggy
with the cut like this.
Yeah.
But usually presented in a more extravagant way.
Okay.
The pants would have more like pockets, like would be pockets all around. Yeah. Would be more statement.
Yeah, and colorful as well, or?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes, colorful because I love colors. I usually wear pink, yellow,
cute,
blue.
Yeah.
So yeah, usually it will be full of colors, full of textures, full of shapes, and full of statements.
Do you have a fashion stylist or like a team to
Yeah, I
actually
have.
help you on that?
I have.
Okay.
Because on a daily basis, I don't need that. But when I'm performing, especially when the performing month, where the month that you focused on doing shows.
Yeah.
So if there are many shows, like 10 for a month, like you get confused. What should I wear today?
Yes.
That's really true.
Wear today, even to the point, what should I even buy? Let's say you have the budget.
Yeah.
And then you want to buy because you have somewhere to go.
Yeah.
The occasion.
Yeah.
But you are confused. What should I buy? I don't even know what to buy. I don't even know.
Yeah.
So with her name is Jovi. Shout out to Jovi. Jovi is actually the one that proposes the idea to me. Don't you think you need someone to help you with that? Because I never even think of that.
Yes.
Even though I'm bothered
Yes.
with the challenges that I met.
Yeah.
But she opens up my mind, and then I tried. All right, let's go, let's do. And it turns out it was great.
Well, I would call it growth. I mean, in your career as well. First, probably you did everything by yourself.
Yeah.
And then you grew to a person with more. More like in that case, but also in your musical sense, you grew to be more. Deep in your lyrics, even more meaty, let's say, in your performances. But in that case as well, what differentiates you from the other rappers in terms of your rap? Is there any signature style of your rap, whether it's from the beat, from the words, or from the theme?
Right. So usually the theme, I would say, not too different, because usually rappers talk about the daily life, urban struggle, same theme with me.
Yeah.
But maybe I would say on the delivery, that the way I speak on my rap, the way I mix my language, the way I chose my words, because I like to choose words that feel like not belong in a song. I like to put words that are more daily lah.
Yeah.
More tongkrongan lah ya. More informal.
Yes.
It's like Indonesian slang. I like to put it, and I like to put Indonesian jokes. And usually I always try to deliver the song, not to be funny, but I want it to feel funny, in a way of ironic.
Yes.
I think it's kind of my coping mechanism. Yeah. I tend to joke my way out of everything. So I try to joke my way out of writing this song too.
Yeah.
I like it when I could say something so smart, yet sound so dumb at face level. That's my like my urge. That's like my thing.
Well, if you listen to Bass Boy's songs enough, you would know that he has that particular sense of music and also that signature style. But as well, when we talk about music these days, a lot of platforms have supported musicians to actually make the music and also market the music even wider, even broader. And also, you were actually mentioning about these days musicians should not make TikToks and stuff like that because come on, let's face it, it's big these days.
It's big, man.
It's big, and also it could actually catapult your career to an unimaginable place. But recently, a music label have pulled the artist's songs from social media in the accusations or the claim that they did not earn money as much as users who are using them. What do you think about that? Is it would this be a benefit for the artist, or would this be a disadvantage even?
Right. So as an artist whose music is also signed with the label that have this particular.
Oh, you're in this label.
My song is already off the catalog.
Oh, already?
Yeah, already on TikTok.
Yeah.
On TikTok, it's off. While it's just out, and I'm doing a full TikTok campaign for like 2 months.
Now this question even more legitimate now to be asked to you. What do you think? What do you think that is?
First, well, I have to be honest. I think the label would want the best for their products, which is the music catalogs from various artists, from Taylor Swift to me. But on the other hand, it kind of disturbed me too, because I don't actually see the platform as something to milk the money out. It's more like a promo. So to me, personally, I wouldn't use the platform. I wouldn't use TikTok to get money. I use it to do promo.
Yeah.
Because, like we say today, TikTok is so big. It is that big that, on a marketing perspective, the upper funnel nowadays is TikTok. It's hard to gain discovery from Instagram. Usually, Instagram now is used to maintain the people that already know and into the creator, into the account. But for people to discover new talent, new account, new thing, usually discovery happens on TikTok.
But the problem that has been voiced out by the particular music label, which is also your music label, is there are many trends in social media that use remix versions of the songs of the artist without permission, and also we're talking about royalty as well. And what's your take on this?
To me personally, it's not ideal, as we know. On an ideal world, it would not be executed that way. But this is Indonesia. This is a unique case. I mean, the education, the socialization about how should we actually consume music, how should we actually consume art, because there is idea, there are copyright right there, there are royalties, is not educated well enough, I think. So it is a challenge on its own, because sometimes it actually helps the musician, because the music get more popular with the remix.
True.
But at the other hand, it doesn't give you the fair share or the business stuff like
Okay, so Bass Boy, what are you? This is the last question before we play the game. Okay. So, what are your hopes for the Indonesian music industry, and do you have like any thoughts of combining your music with traditional music instrument in the future, maybe?
Combining my music with traditional instrument is already done and will be done a lot more.
Okay.
Of course, because I like to represent my reality. My reality is an Indonesian boy, so I would like to reflect my culture, reflect my everything on my music. Then my hope for the music industry is, I hope, not just because it is well connected with everything, so I hope everything gets better. We get better food, better housing, better education, better healthcare, then music will be better too. Trust me, I mean, if we are very hard to gain food, like clean water, not trying to sound woke, but when you are hungry and you don't have like a secure roof over your head, who cares about music?
True.
It's not essential.
Yeah.
So until our essential level satisfaction is increased, the music will not increasing much too.
Yeah, so aiming
that's
to that.
the hope.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
also, what you've been mentioning were all those social issues that also have been voiced out in a lot of rap music, in hip hop, because hip hop also about social issue.
Yes.
I'm not going to say it's social justice movement, no, but it's a social issue to actually highlight those things,
Right.
And as well as political issue as well.
Of course.
But these, we are 11 days away from elections, and
close.
the voters our age is like 60, almost 60-ish% of the voters in Indonesia.
Gen Z.
Yeah, Gen Z, millennials and stuff like that. But why? And we still hear a lot of swing voters. And
Of course, man.
But a lot
Talking
of
with
people,
one here.
a lot of people as well saying that they're not going to vote because they kind of like confused and things. But why do you think people like us in 60% of the pie of the voters should actually cast our vote?
I think it's because, well, to be taking it on the fundamental level, to not make a decision usually always turns into a moment of chaos.
True. I agree.
Right. In terms of politics or whatever that needs to be chosen in your life.
True.
Like you want to see friend A or friend B on Monday. You have to choose by the time, right?
Yeah.
If the time is up and you haven't chose, usually you will let two people down even. Right.
That's a very good
on a fundamental level.
Yeah.
But
example
on a political context, I think it would be more so, people don't use your right to vote, don't sell your voice. So it needs to be done. I mean, if you are confused, at least you could
choose one.
Choose all. If you're that confused, but still go to the TPU.
And cast your vote.
TPU.
Yeah.
TPS.
TPU is graveyard.
TPU graveyard, bro.
Okay, but actually just cast your vote.
Yes.
And be the good and law-abiding citizen.
Yes.
All right.
I agree. And it's not the sweetest stories if we don't play with our guests here. So Bass Boy and Hans will play against each other in a game called Guess the Song from Chipmunk Voice. So we'll play the chipmunk and slow-mo version of a song, and you need to guess, the song title. So don't forget to ring the bell before you answer, and you'll only be given one chance to say your answer. So you need to take this one, Hans,
Okay.
and
I'll be
there
with
you
the
go.
hunk.
Okay, so are you ready, guys?
Ready.
Okay, so let's play. So, ta-da! Let's play the first song. Just guess, guys.
What?
Is it so difficult?
It's
hard.
too difficult. It sounded like a Transformer movie. See? Doesn't even sound like a song.
Can we have it played one more time?
Okay. Can we play one more time? Okay, I guess yes.
Huh?
It's a female artist.
It's the female artist.
Yes.
Sounded like this?
What if he sound like a bear?
Sounded like a Transformer.
Start with B.
Start with B?
Start with B.
Beyonce.
Yeah!
Is it say.
But what's the song? I don't know.
So
I couldn't guess.
shall we see in the plasma? What's the? So you know now, right? The song title.
So crazy, crazy in love.
Yeah. So, but you guessed the first Beyonce, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, 1 for Bass Boy and 0 for Hans. Is it too difficult, guys?
Too difficult.
Okay.
Too difficult.
So we try the second one.
All right.
Hopefully this one is better.
Let's go.
So,
Hopefully this is easier, yeah?
yeah.
Oh!
You know, Hans?
How could you, bro?
Dude.
Bro, this is impossible to be done.
No, it's not impossible. Nothing is impossible.
It's also female artist.
Yeah.
Artist?
Female artist.
Oh my God.
Please.
I almost got it.
At this point, I just want you to answer, bro.
That's why.
Yeah.
It's Jessie J, Ariana Grande, and Nicki Minaj. Bang bang.
Yay! Woo!
In the bottle, it's Nicki full throttle, it's in the bottle, we win it in the lotto, we dipping in the pot of blue stuff. Shit is so good, it's dripping on wood, get a ride in the engine that could. Get me robbing it, bang bang, cocking it, Queen Nicki dominant, prominent.
If they test me, they're sorry. All right.
Jaga lagu ini.
Yeah.
Okay.
Turns out.
I knew it because of that.
So 1 for Bass Boy and 1 for Hans. Okay. Now let's hear the third song. Sorry, guys.
Hey.
Start with D. And end with E.
Oh, I know.
No, nothing.
Huh?
Is it Doja Cat? Say so. Oh, yes!
Say so.
You're good, Hans.
Good. I'm not built for this.
Okay, so 2 for Hans
Yes.
and 1 for Bass Boy. So the winner is...
Oh, we only have 3?
Yeah! So it's so fun, guys. I know it's hard, but it's just like...
But by the way, thank you so much, Bass Boy.
Thank you so much
for coming
for
to
you so much,
our
Bass Boy.
studio again.
Yeah.
Please don't be strangers.
We'll never.
Yeah,
Never.
and come back again. We are waiting
course.
for more singles from you.
Of course.
Just for the refreshment, where can we find you? On your socials or in your, say, you have SoundCloud or whatever?
Yeah.
Right. You guys can find me on Instagram. You can follow at bas.boi, bas.boy. You can find me on Twitter, BASBOI_.
Yeah.
And you can find me on TikTok. Just search Bass Boy. Spotify, YouTube. I'm everywhere, bruh.
Yeah, he's everywhere, and I am sure that you're gonna love his latest single, Banyak
Let's
Yang
go.
Bilang.
Of
Just
course.
dance to it.
Hey.
And probably you can dance to it on Instagram because it's no longer on TikTok. But by the way, see the source will continue after the break with some viral news on social media, so stay tuned.
China Earthquake Network Center reported that the quake rocked the Ertupen County in Aksu Prefecture shortly after 2 a.m. local time.
Minister January Makamba was a guest in one of our news programs, a 3-hour news show yesterday. While he was in the studio, he used the opportunity to explain the current state of diplomatic ties between Tanzania and Indonesia.
Indonesian Foreign Affairs Minister Retno Marsudi addressed the UN Security Council during an open debate in New York.
Ini adalah open debate Dewan Keamanan PBB ketiga mengenai Gaza dalam 3 bulan terakhir dan Indonesia hadir di ketiganya.
Indonesian Foreign Affairs Minister Retno Marsudi addressed the UN Security Council during an open debate in New York.
Ini adalah open debate Dewan Keamanan PBB ketiga mengenai Gaza dalam 3 bulan terakhir dan Indonesia hadir di ketiganya.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia itu bergelombol, menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
Asian flavors is gaining more popularity around the world in the last decade. Personally love this, not just because it is familiar for our palate, but because the airiness, the textures of the youtiao, it's completely different than baguette. So with those appetites and with those pleasure-driven people, Menteng is a very special place for restaurant.
Yes, hello guys. All right. Welcome back to the show. You're still watching our signature segment, See the Stories. Now, we have a bunch of popcorn.
Love it.
Now we're going to be talking about what's being viral on social media. Now you guys, do you know about this latest trend that goes with the phrase, of course?
Of course I do.
Right,
of course.
It's all over the place right now, yeah?
Now, let's have a look at this one clip. Of course.
Of course.
So you may know this viral trend on TikTok where many people used to highlight or talk about their daily activities. For instance, I am Indonesian, of course, and then you say the things you want to say.
So netizens from around the world use this trend as an opportunity to make satire or dark jokes about their lives.
Yes, now here in Indonesia, the trend was followed with content creators who make parodies or satire of their lives.
Indonesian. You have flies here that'll cover your food. Of course I'm Indonesian. I eat noodles with rice. Of course I'm Indonesian. I travel with boxes like this.
I'm a black teacher. Of course I'm trying to teach my kids everything that I learned way too late in life. I'm a black teacher. Of course my kids say I give off mama energy even though I ain't got no kids of my own.
We're working. That was so funny.
Yeah, you want to go first? You want to give one to the viewers? What have you got for us? I'm thinking. Of course, I'm Indonesian, of course.
Okay. I'm a news anchor. Of course, I come 3 minutes before the show airs.
Whoa!
I got somewhere a little bit, time management kind of stuff. So let me go.
Yeah.
So, I'm Indonesian. Of course, I say on the way when I'm actually still showing.
That's you. Oh my God.
Yeah. No, I have trust issue.
Yeah.
No, I have trust issue.
But you also do that, right?
Man. That was
Please,
it.
be honest.
That put the nail on the coffin right there.
I'm Indonesian. Of course, I eat pete and jengkol.
Oh, that's a good one. You can't have just one without the other.
Yes,
of course. You gotta.
What else? I think one more.
Yes, there's one more. Let's do one more. Okay.
I'm the eldest kid. Of course, I told my sister to do all the things that I want her to do.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a boss.
Yeah, you're a boss.
Yeah.
Do you have one more?
No, you go.
One more? Okay. I am Indonesian, of course. Wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm Indonesian, of course. I fake IDs.
That's good. That's good.
Wow.
Yes, man. Come on. You're Indonesian.
Wow, Rangga.
You go.
Big one.
Oh, it's difficult. You're so creative, guys. I cannot think.
Think of probably because you're a mother.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm a mother of two. Of course, I have my pregnancy brain here.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that is actually true.
That is very true.
That is actually
That is
true.
very true.
So, yeah, we need to give it to her. Next, a video circulating on social media recently showed a man from East Java who looks like Prince Martin of Brunei.
Really?
The world is not fair. Let's have a look.
A young man selling ice cream at Mount Bromo National Park, East Java, has become the trending topic on social media, as many believe that he was the doppelganger of Prince Abdul Mateen of Brunei. This young man has caught the attention of many for his facial resemblance with the prince. Look at this guy.
I wonder how much the price of the ice cream if the Prince Mateen is actually selling it.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Long before that, there was a content creator named Rehan Mubarak who was in the spotlight because of his similar looks to Prince Mateen. Not only that, the content creator also likes horse riding, which is a hobby that Prince Mateen does.
Oh, that look, I can see the resemblance.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Yeah. But I don't see the resemblance in the bank account. Come on.
Hard to find.
Hard to find. You cannot be second to
Exactly.
Prince Mateen.
No way.
All right, let's see another video, but this one is a cat. Indonesia has many viral contents, including adorable cats wearing clothes. So this clip you're watching now shows an adorable cat dressed in a beggar's dress.
Oh my God, look at that.
Look at that, look at that.
I actually have like the other cute cat like that, but it's can you zoom in? Like,
oh man.
There.
Right there.
Oh, no way. The
Unreal.
career.
it's like
Yeah.
a
Courier cat.
courier cat. And
Unreal.
also another one.
You have
Like,
lots of cat.
It's like this one. It's so cute, right? It's like a seller. Seller of the
way.
Chwanki seller.
Oh my God.
And one more.
Man.
Oh,
And one last time. This
oh
one.
my God. Oh my God. The cat is going for Salat Id.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's so cute, right?
You're totally a mother. You're totally a mother.
Yeah, there we go. That's it.
So, lastly, we have a video of a young man who discovered an 811-year-old supernatural creator while using a face detection filter. So, this video has 45.4 million views on TikTok. So, let's take a look.
So the scary moment startled the man named Abram Rahmat. Oh my God, that is actually true.
Oh my God.
But I saw this video before, but is it
No
true?
way. So while doing a face detection sensor on TikTok that can identify gender, age, and expression, the app suddenly captured the unseen face. My God, that says 811 years old.
Ooh, I get goosebumps now. The app also showed a red box filter when emphasizing the year of the user. But the man then realized that there was nobody behind him, and the app started to detect just an empty box with no face that says 811 to 819 years old.
And the app also says the expression of the captured face, which was angry. Not only that, the app also captured a female aged 7 to 12 with happy expression. Whoa. So, but later, Abram clarified that it was the video that he edited himself using
way.
Adobe Premiere Pro. Okay, thank you.
No way. This is why I have trust issue. One with Rangga. with the on the way thing. And now with this. I hate you guys. I hate you.
Oh my, I didn't believe I blurted it out like that. All right, guys, we're gonna be back really quickly with your daily dose of entertainment on the last segment of the show. You don't want to miss that. Yeah.
Ijo sama yang merah ini tuh rumah pribumi. Jadi aku taruh di dalam, makanya rasanya lebih welcome gitu. Modern banget. Menurut aku ya, kita belum ngerasa memiliki kalau belum ada sejarahnya.
Berangkat aja dulu, kerjakan apa yang ada di depan kalian. Setidaknya kalian hari ini walaupun tidak mendapatkan uang, tapi kalian mendapatkan kesempatan.
Walaupun di awal-awal itu banyak sekali rintangan dan tantangan.
Kalian berproses aja dulu, jalan aja dulu. Kalau udah waktunya kalian untuk dapetin uang akan datang nyamperin kalian. Hal yang paling sangat utama untuk mengawali bisnis, ridho dan restu orang tua. Itu hal dan modal paling besar dalam mengawali usaha.
Ke Binjai mau migrasi.
Cakep.
Anjay, aku depotsi.
Ya aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik ya.
Aduh ya Allah.
Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi tuh hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Maris.
Pemain.
Hey there, buddies! Welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk.
Enggak, dia hostnya, kita co-hostnya.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. That's actually a good hack, because I used to live in Canada. That was our trick.
Point to Manado on the smash. I'm horrible. I told you I'm bad.
Dikira dengan banyaknya informasi itu kan jadi makin gampang gitu nulis.
Iya.
Tapi ternyata susah banget.
So spicy.
Absolutely delicious.
You know, it's actually pretty good.
Satu, dua, tiga.
Come see the nature, only on See Indonesia.
Come see the beauty, only on See Indonesia.
Only on See Indonesia.
Hello, welcome back to the 3-Hour News Show. Now it's time for your daily dose of entertainment.
Yeah.
So if you are into music, you should have known that these particular months will be the festival months. I mean,
Yes.
the awarding months. Now, the first one, the 2024 Grammy Awards, are scheduled to take place on Sunday, February the 4th at Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles. So the Recording Academy has officially announced the nominees for the event. Let's take a look.
At the 2024 Grammy Award, 3 brand new categories: Best Pop Dance Recording, Best Alternative Jazz Album, and Best African Music Performance will make their debut. According to Recording Academy CEO Harvey Mason Jr., this groundbreaking category additions are part of a broader set of updates and change that will take effect immediately at the 2024 Grammy Awards and are designed to make the Grammy Awards process more transparent and accurate.
Members and record labels will submit their entries to the Grammys, which will then be confirmed for eligibility and category placement. The access period for the online submission started in July 2023 until August 2023. The first round of voting was held from October 11th through October 20th of last year. And the final round of voting will take place from December 14th, 2023 to January the 4th, 2024. The winners will be revealed on February the 4th, which is this weekend.
Yeah, and you know what's actually a huge disappointment for music enthusiasts? There will be no K-pop category
Oh, no.
or K-pop
really?
nominations.
Okay.
I mean K-pop nominees
Right.
in this run of Grammy in 2024. So you will see no BTS, Blackpink, New Jeans, or whatsoever. But the problem is they did submit the music. They did
Okay.
submit the music to the Academy.
Right.
But apparently the Academy did not release any categories on
Yes,
K-pop
any categories,
or
yeah.
nor nominees from K-pop
K-pop.
world. So that would be a huge disappointment.
Disappointing
Yeah,
big time.
People these days.
Yes. Okay, but next we would like to recommend you a series called Lilin Alena on Maxstream app.
Alena.
This series tells the story of a high school student named Alena who suffers from leukemia. She also faces challenges when she learns that her parents are separated.
Not only that, the series also revolves around a triangle love between Alena, Defan, and his rival Asham. Defan is a basketball captain and he has made Alena's life more colorful, but it suddenly turns out complicated after she meets Asham, a close friend of Defan who also likes Alena.
Boleh teleponan nggak?
Love triangle.
Okay, that would be on your watch list probably if you like any drama and stuff. But also, we want to apologize that this is the time we say goodbye. That does it for today's episode of the 3-Hour News Show on C Today. Be sure to also follow us on our socials through Instagram, X, and YouTube channel. Our handles are at C Today News.
MC Today can now be enjoyed in Australia on Foxtel OTT platform Flash app or in Macau cable TV channel 84. Or if you're in the Philippines, you can also watch the Convert Vision channel 58 and Singtel Singapore channel 50.
And for Telkomsel users, you can also watch See Today on the Maxstream app. Now, don't forget to also tune in again tomorrow, same time, same channel. And also, be sure to catch our morning show every day at 6 a.m. I'm Rangga Estemat.
I am Aubrey Bear.
I've been Hans Lau, and please do allow us to say goodbye to you by saying, see Indonesia, see the world, see today. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Don't want no any other way. Stuck in a daydream and long overdue. My heart was yearning for someone to lose. sudden flame, loving games, never felt so comfortable, and a chance for romance is an unattainable thought that I was afraid to begin in. Will it all fade away and expire? But I love you more and more each day, stuck with you more and more. Instead, I love you more and more. Don't